You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair and Mazz in the midday.
In the midday, a.k.a. your auntie's favorite sports talk show. Brandon Marazzo here with Anthony Cafone and Connor Cupin.
Yo.
Fellas, we had a plan for the day, and it just, the starting point at least is going right out the window. Because I don't know how we got on this, but somebody in this studio tends to think, Connor, you got to put up the thing, dude. Put up the knob. It's where you can hear. Can you hear? There you go.
Yes, of course.
I just told him to put it up. Did I not? Unbelievable. Anyway.
Sorry about that, yeah. Oops.
We were starting off with some baseball talk, but somebody in this studio tends to think that Kevin Durant is not a top 15 player all the time. So, Anthony Cafone, explain yourself.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant is not a top 15 player all time. He has gone down so far in my estimations over these last 2 months of basketball off-season talk. He comes in this first round. He comes to Brooklyn. Let's go way back 2 years to when he was in Brooklyn, okay? He was supposed to be the guy who was going to carry the Nets all the way to the championship. He got his buddy Kyrie along. He was building the team. Joe Harris, all these other pieces were coming in. This was the Nets' window. This was the Nets' window to go all the way and win a championship. First season, injuries plagued the team. Katie didn't even play. Kyrie was doing stuff by himself. So what? We throw that year out the window. Next year, Katie and Kyrie are back on the floor together. They do it. They're healthy. Then they get James Harden before the trade deadline, and they have a super team pretty much. And what do? They can't even get out of the second round against the Milwaukee Bucks.
They were injured.
Okay.
Kyrie was injured. Harden had half a hamstring.
All right, but they didn't win. They didn't get the job done. That's all I'm saying.
Because of injury, continue.
Injuries, whatever you want to put it towards, they did that. This year, they come in, they're ready to go.
COVID.
This year wasn't COVID, was it?
Well, I mean, like that. The next season would be COVID.
No, this season.
Yeah, but you missed the COVID year.
The COVID year was the year where they got bounced by the Bucks.
So then how are they healthy? Kyrie barely played.
Well, this year, yeah, Kyrie has the vaccination problems. He doesn't want to get vaccinated.
So how's that on KD?
He was the one who wanted Kyrie to come team up with him. He knew what the headache was.
He didn't know COVID was going to happen.
But he knew Kyrie was going to be a headache.
Not to that extent. I mean, dude, come on. Nobody saw that coming. You know?
If anyone who watched his time in Boston would know that Kyrie was the headache.
Yeah, absolutely. Putting up with the headache is one thing as long as he's playing. He still played in Boston. Yeah, he had the injury problem, but he still played. All right? So it's like, how is this on KD? Yes, he chose to link up with a headache, but he didn't know that headache wasn't going to play more than half the season due to a vaccination status. Because nobody saw COVID, and it just came out of nowhere, and that's where we are with it. And to sit there and say, here's the biggest debate of all. All right? Scottie Pippen or KD, and you said Scottie.
I said Scottie.
Why do you feel Scottie?
Because I'd rather a guy be a number 2 on 6 championship teams and play his role perfectly than a guy who's a superstar and quits when the going gets rough.
But here's the thing, though. Scottie never did nothing. Scottie never quit when the going got tough? Because I'm pretty sure we all watched the Last Dance, and Scottie literally took himself out of the game. Right?
He wanted a race. That was money problems.
Well, that's his fault for signing that awful contract.
KD signed a great contract. He played every game. He was the one that got swept in the first round, and now he wants out. Scottie at least won 5 championships to that point with the team that drafted him, and then was like, all right, I want some money for what I've done, and then the Bulls said no. So at least Scottie was able to put up championship seasons before he did that. KD has not shown that he cannot win without a super team. And even when he has a super team, sometimes like the Nets, he doesn't get it done.
Can we say that Scottie can't win without a super team when he played with the greatest player of all time?
Okay, but outside of those two, who else was on those teams? Kukoc, role player. Horace Grant, role player. Rodman, you could debate that he was a star, but he didn't score. He got rebounds. He played defense.
They had Ron Harper. They had the greatest coach of all time, Phil Jackson. They had a lot of pieces,
all right, but
man.
you also have to contribute Phil Jackson's success to having Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant.
I'm not yes, for sure. But yes. But
P.J. Armstrong.
Hold on. P.J. Armstrong was an all-star, so here's the thing. It's like with Phil, yes, he did have Hall of Fame talent, but does the Hall of Fame talent work as good if it's not for Phil? Because Mike wasn't winning until Phil got there. Mike was putting up points, but they weren't winning. All right?
But once they got Scottie Pippen, that's when it changed.
I'm just saying.
Scottie Pippen contributed more to those championship teams sometimes than probably
I'm
Mike
not
did at
saying.
times.
Oh, you're insane.
I mean, we're talking about this. If we're talking about on the defensive end of the basketball, rebounding, doing everything that doesn't require just putting the ball in the basket, Scotty contributed more
I'm
than
telling you
Mike.
right now, Mike was guarding the best wings. Scotty had some tough defensive assignments. I'm not
He
saying
had to
that
guard Malone. He had to cover.
But let's not act like
Barkley.
Mike wasn't a 9-time All-NBA defensive first team and wasn't a defensive player of the year.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mike was fine. Yeah, Mike was great.
Mike was fantastic. Mike was great. Scotty has the luxury of playing with the greatest player of all time.
And Katie has the luxury of playing with the second grade point guard, playing with probably easily, I'd say,
You're right.
3 of the top
But it's
15
not-
point guards to ever play the game.
But it's not like he didn't leave. He left. He
left OKC?
Yeah, and that was a bad situation to go with
he
Golden
left Golden State because
But he didn't stay in Golden State, and when he was at Golden State, he was the best player in Golden State. By far the best player in Golden State. Steph was doing his thing, but KD, because things were open up for him.
But how much of that scoring that Katie or Steph was losing was because KD was there?
I'm just saying, he's got 2
If
finals MVPs.
if KD was not having a bigger role in that offense, Steph was still putting up the numbers he would be
No,
putting
that's
up.
fine, but are you saying that Golden State couldn't win the championship if Steph wasn't there? With a healthy
They-
Clay and a healthy
With a healthy,
Draymond?
if Steph is not in that lineup with the Warriors, if it's just KD and Clay, they're not winning a championship.
I think they can, absolutely.
I don't think so.
Absolutely, because Clay's the better is the best defensive player out of the 3 of them. So you still got the best defensive player. Clay can pop off for 20
But
points.
Kyrie's
plus.
better than Clay.
But KD's probably the best player on that
Whoa.
court at that time.
Okay, but he's the best player on the court now. He's not winning championships with Kyrie and
So
James Harden.
that's my thing, though, right? So we've said countless times. Has anybody ever once thought Scottie Pippen was the best player in the NBA?
Nope.
Thank you.
he was arguably top 10.
Fair, but we're literally each year. It's always been for the last 10 years. Who's the best player in the NBA? For the most part, it's been LeBron James or Kevin Durant. One or
Giannis now.
Yeah, and now Giannis and Steph are in the conversation. But for a while there, LeBron James or Kevin Durant, that's been the debate. It's never been Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen. It's never been Karl Malone or Scottie Pippen. So that's what I'm saying, bro. Is that like, yes, Scottie is
Well, also, think this.
fantastic.
Mike left at the end of the 98 season when Scotty left.
Yep.
Do you think there's a correlation to that? Did Mike think he could win by himself without Scotty?
I don't know. Yeah,
He retired.
That's what I'm saying, but that's after Scotty left.
I think he already accomplished what he set out to, and then obviously he can't, like, why did Mike come back with Washington? It's not like he thought he was going to win. He
was
won.
already the GM, or what was he, the owner, GM?
Yeah, he wanted to prove that he still had it because he heard the talks and stuff. But here's what it comes down to is this, all right? And we're going to my favorite website. This isn't a plug. I just enjoy using them. Land of Basketball is fantastic.
Dude, it is a great website, honestly.
Just when you need to compare stuff. Not that it's a plug or anything. It's just, that's what's going to settle a debate right here, all right? So we come down to Kevin Durant's 14 seasons against Scotty's 17 seasons.
Obviously, Katie's a better scorer. I know that.
Oh, hold on.
Katie could score from any point in the basketball. In that aspect, he's one of the best scorers of all time.
Hold on, we're going
I'm
with
talking-
accolades and everything, all right? So, yes, Scotty's got the ring 6-2. I'm there for it, right? Season MVPs, that's KD 1, Scotty 0. So that's a bucket. So that's 1-1 right now, right? Boom. Finals MVP, 2 for KD, 0 for Scotty. That's another one in the basket.
Where he was playing
of KD.
against the Cavs, who were nowhere near the level of talent that the Warriors had.
All NBA first team, 6-3 in favor of KD.
Okay.
Oh.
But you attribute that to the forward play in the NBA at that time? Who were the great forwards in the NBA in the 2010s? That's had LeBron and KD.
You got 2 of the top 3 right there.
That's what I'm saying.
Kawhi Leonard.
Giannis.
Yeah, but Kawhi at his peak sometimes, I don't know. Kawhi
At his peak is probably the best player in the game.
that's what I'm saying.
Anthony Davis.
Davis.
Dirk.
You can even say Draymond on the defensive end.
Yeah, but he's not going to be an All-NBA.
Dirk in the 2010s. Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
The
That's
early
like
2010s.
early 2010s for sure. I don't know. When I think of like 2010s, I'm thinking of like 2015-ish. Yeah,
Blake
like
Griffin,
right in the
Blake
middle.
Griffin.
I'm not saying KD's
Blake-
not a great player. I know he's a great player. I know he has the
Even
talent.
Tim Duncan.
But if
I'm
we're
not-
talking, who would you rather have to build around a championship roster?
Scotty or KD? KD, it's not even a question.
I'm taking Scotty.
Dude, here's the thing. I'm not saying that Scotty's
Because
not a
I know
good player.
Scotty is going to play for my team. If I pay him a good salary, I know he's going to stick it out with me to the rest of the year.
I don't know about that.
Okay, well, that was a whole thing in his whole He had a 7-year, $18 million
Yeah,
contract.
Dude, that's
he
the
signed a
worst
bad deal.
contract ever.
I'm not saying he didn't sign. He signed a terrible deal.
And then he cried about it. All right,
But he
and
still played.
And here's what it comes down to. All right, points per game. Points per game. Kevin Durant averages 27.2 to Scotty's 16.1. Rebounds. Kevin Durant beats him 7.1 to 6.4. Scotty beats him 5.2 assists to 4.3. Scotty's got him in 2 steals to 1 steal. KD's got him in blocks 1.1 to 0.8. Okay? So this is what it comes down to. Scotty's the better defensive player, but KD's the better star. KD's a legitimate one. Scotty will forever be one of the greatest Robins of all time to a Batman. KD's a Batman. Scotty's not. That's what this comes down to.
Honestly,
And
Scotty
some of the
probably
greats-
could have been the
think of how
Batman.
many-
I think in Scotty's prime, listen to me. In Scotty's prime,
Yeah.
when he was putting up numbers in like from 90 to 93, he for sure could have been a Batman.
I don't know about
He was
that,
just
man.
playing
On a different
in the
team,
times
probably
when
could
he
have
was
been
playing
Batman.
with when Mike was playing baseball. He got the Bulls to the Eastern Conference Finals by himself.
But they didn't do nothing, though.
But the Knicks had
So
a
to
better
me, that's just like Kyrie, bro.
the Knicks had a better roster in those years,
I just
and
feel
the Magic too. The Magic played with against.
well, the Magic had a better roster for sure, but I don't know if the Knicks necessarily did.
I mean, they had Pat Ewing, they had some guards, they had some good guys like Oakley. They had good players on that team,
Yeah, but dude, that's the thing.
and,
they had
and
Patrick
Pippen was
Ewing.
by himself pretty much.
He wasn't necessarily by himself.
He still got. I'm saying he got them to the Eastern Conference Finals. He got the Portland Trailblazers at like 39 years old in the Western Conference Finals
Kevin Durant got OKC to a finals.
with Russell Westbrook and James Harden.
Harden was not what he was at that time.
He was still Sixth Man of the Year.
Fair, but he wasn't an MVP caliber player at the time. He's
I'm
coming
still
off the
saying
bench.
he had stars around him.
I'm not saying
He
that
had
Kevin
Surge.
Durant hasn't had. I'm just saying, dude, if you think a majority of people would take Scotty to build a team over KD, I think honestly you're a Hurts Net fan right now, and you're coming at the man, and that's you have every right to do that as a Nets fan. That's fine, but that's given a biased opinion here. To say that Kevin Durant is not way ahead of Scottie Pippen all the time is blasphemy. You don't necessarily need the rings.
Blasphemy.
You don't necessarily need the rings to be the better player, all right? I think Allen Iverson's better than Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie's got more championships, okay?
Robert Ory.
Robert Horry, what has he got, like 6, 7 championships?
7, yeah, I believe
so. Is Robert Horry better than KD too because he's got more rings? Come on, dude. If you're saying
But
that,
Robert Ory wasn't the number 2 option in all those teams.
no, that's fine. But I think most people. Plus, let's not forget, KD's a 4-time scoring champion. That's tied for second. Mike's got 10 with the most all time.
But I'm
This
saying
is-
KD is probably the best scorer to ever play.
potentially yes,
Maybe behind Mike. Outside of Mike, I think Durant's probably number 2.
maybe Wilt, but sure.
But I'm saying, KD probably has better offensive statistics, but if I'm encompassing a whole game and I'm factoring in team chemistry, team morale, building a championship mindset, I'm taking Scottie Pippen
But
over KD.
But how do we
every
know that? Because
single
KD,
time.
but Scotty was drafted into a pinnacle situation where KD
He was still a dog.
Time fair, but KD has to deal with Russ's ego in OKC and his own ego, and let's not act like he doesn't have one. Okay, then he goes to Golden State because he's like, hey, I want to just ride the wave for a little bit, but not only am I going to ride the wave, I'm going to be the best player while I'm there. And then he links up with another headache, and that's his fault for linking up with the headache, but that's not his fault that that's the way that things went down.
Yeah, but he never gave inkling to the front office or anyone that he did not like Kyrie. If he had said, I don't want Kyrie on the team at this point in the season, the Nets would have shipped him off that fast.
No, that's fine, but
Now he's going to come out and say, oh, well, I'm not the problem, I'm not the problem. Say something.
But how does that affect your all-time ranking? That doesn't affect your all-time ranking. I mean, listen, Karl Malone's a bad guy. He's still the second top scorer in league history. I think LeBron just passed him. So he's top 3 in scoring all time. All right? So it's like, there's things that happen. It still doesn't take away from you being a player. It doesn't mean that you're a great character. All right? It's KD.
But this was
soft,
not,
sure.
I'm not talking about, that's off-court issues. This affects his on-court issues.
But on court, what is he? You're acting like he's not going out there and still lighting it up for 25 plus a night for the Nets. They just can't win because 1, the roster is garbage. 2, the second star is a headache. 3, they just traded for Ben Simmons because James Harden didn't want to be a part of the circus anymore. So yeah, it's Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets circus. That's what this is coming down to. It's not necessarily his fault.
No, I just think the problem with him is he saw that Golden State won a championship without him. He feels that he needs to justify himself when he already has a good team around him.
I don't. Do you think that team's capable of
A
winning
big
it all?
three of Kyrie, KD, and Ben Simmons has a chance of winning it all.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. If you replace KD with Scottie Pippen, do they have a chance of winning it all?
Yeah.
So Kyrie would have to be the main guy.
I don't know
I
if
think
Kyrie
Kyrie
be
and
the main guy.
Scottie.
Who's option one on offense?
Probably Kyrie.
Thank you. I don't think Kyrie could win being the number one option. I don't think that team wins.
I don't know. I think they have a chance because the Eastern Conference. I mean, all they really would have to get by. You have Scottie to cancel out Giannis.
You think Scottie could stop Giannis?
Yes, I can.
No way, dude. That's just like Shaq. He's a slightly smaller. I don't
Dude,
think
if
Scottie
PJ
could
Tucker can stop Giannis, Scottie
Yeah.
Pippen can stop him.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that was a valid point.
Yes. If Jay Crowder can do it, then
Dude.
Scotty can do it.
When did Jay stop him?
2020.
Was Jay Crowder not on that Suns team that lost in the
Heat
final?
team.
No, I'm saying, was he not on that Suns team that lost in the final? Or
Oh,
Gian-
yes.
So how did Jay stop him?
I'm not talking last year. No.
I'm just saying, Jay ain't stopping nothing. Then I saw Jimmy Butler stop him.
That was pretty cool.
Okay, like I don't know. Scotty with Kyrie against the Bucks would be interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know if they get it done. I don't mean to disrespect Scotty. I just think if you were to rank your top 15 players, I think Scotty and KD are both within that top 15, top 20 range. I just think KD's looking around like 13 to 11 on most lists. Some people have him top 10 already. And I think Scotty's more closer to 15, 20. And that's what this comes down to. Connor, who would you rather have?
Kevin Durant,
Why?
the better player.
Why is he the better player, Connor?
Why is he the better player? Well, he can do almost everything better except play defense.
And even so, I mean, he's getting more blocks. He's got better length. I mean, it's debatable. I mean, this is what it comes down to. Would you rather have
It's
the better
tough, I
scorer?
guess, because Scottie Pippen never had a chance to be the best player, maybe, on a team during his peak, which he probably could have been, definitely.
And he had years where he was when Mike was playing baseball.
He's
and he was
definitely-
still dominant.
Well, there was his chance. He was Batman then.
I don't
He was
know.
Batman then.
And he got him to the Eastern Conference Finals pretty much by himself.
Dude,
But
he still got some dogs.
he's not a
on that
league
team,
MVP.
dude. He is not a league MVP.
That's
that was
for
the
sure.
year to do it. He never did it. And then, not only that,
But also Hakeem
Hold on.
Hakeem was having a crazy year that year too.
that's fair, but Scotty goes and links up with Hakeem and can't get the job done, and they form a super team with Barkley.
They were also 40.
They weren't 40, but they were later on in their
Scotty
years.
goes-
But Scotty goes to the Trailblazers, can't get nothing done.
if
either.
Scotty-
Hakeem was there?
If Scotty, Charles Barkley, and Hakeem played on the same team when they were 27, they'd win 4 championships in a row.
I don't know about that. I really don't, because
I think so.
Because here's the thing, Mike's not. It's like, does Mike not get anybody? Is that it? Like, just Scotty goes and he gets nobody in exchange?
What do you think he gets?
I don't know, but I mean, like, if you give,
Clyde?
I think that would be fantastic. Yeah, why not? He has Clyde Drexler with Michael Jordan. Yeah, that might be enough to get the job done.
I don't think so.
Dude,
I think Scotty is 10 times better than Clyde.
that's debatable. That's
10
debatable.
times.
I think
No,
they're close.
better,
I
yes.
think they're closer than KD and Scotty are. To be honest with you, like, I'm sorry, I feel Scotty was an important part to the Bulls team, but just standing alone careers, Kevin Durant has the better career.
All right,
great. I love
we'll
this.
end at that. We'll end at that.
Hey, listen, let us know what you think. You know, this is Mazz and Midday here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
That was a solid 20-minute opening debate.
Oh, I appreciate it. Where are we going next, Ant?
So we're going to stick with basketball?
Yeah, why not? We're here already.
Well, there's KD also. We were talking
we'll
about
talk
KD.
a little. We were talking about KD, but let's go into reason why we're talking about KD. So over the past week, the Nets and KD had some discussions. Joe Tsai, the
I had a little
owner,
more than discussions.
and
I had
Sean
some-
Marks, the general manager, were talking with KD. And KD's pretty much just said, if Nash and Sean Marks stay, get rid of me. If you want to keep me, get rid of those guys. And pretty much gave him an ultimatum. And the Nets have pretty much said that they're going to stick with their guys in the front office. So KD, more than likely, is either going to be on the move or he'll be watching the NBA season on his couch.
Nah, I
They
think
don't
he
have
could
to
be
listen
playing.
to him.
I think he plays.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing about KD. He's never shown that, hey, I'm going to sit out. It's just, hey, if you want me to be happy here, they got to go. I think it's a prima donna move. I don't like the move. But it's not like, let's act like KD's not threatening to sit out the season. All right? There's been some guys who've been like, if I don't get what I want, I'm not playing. He's not at that level. All right? He's not. He's given ultimatums, but it's not like, oh, I'm refusing to be here. It's just like, hey, if you want the best out of me, this is what I feel I need. I don't know what the relationship, because as everything I know, they advocated. Him and Kyrie advocated.
Yeah, they
for
wanted
Nash.
Steve Nash. They were all in on getting Steve Nash, and now they have two bad. I say they were not bad seasons. They got into the playoffs.
Yeah,
despite injuries, and they didn't get injured in 2021. They could have won. They would have won the finals.
Yeah, probably.
So I don't think Nash has some blame, but he was literally catering the offense to your skill sets.
But does KD have blame?
Yes.
How does he have blame, though? I feel like this is... I'm sorry. I feel like this is more of a Kyrie Irving issue. I feel like this is more of a, hey, you guys...
He didn't show up in the first round against Boston. He had a terrible series against Boston.
Yeah, that's fine. That's one bad series, though.
He's blaming the front office and everyone for him not showing up in the playoffs.
Here's the problem, though. I think the biggest problem that they did was trying to acquire James Harden. Not that he wasn't a great player at the time, but the fact of the matter is that...
But they would be stupid not to.
But here's the thing, though. Do you not think that Jared Allen and Karis LeVert would have been a better fit alongside Kyrie and KD?
But at that time,
that's
James
a
Harden.
legitimate
But
starting
at that
five.
time, James Harden was still an MVP caliber player.
For sure. But here's the thing. But look at the usage ratings with it. Where James Harden was an MVP caliber player, but he also had the highest usage rating in the years that he won the MVP, which tells us he needs to have the ball. And when you have KD and Kyrie, it's hard to be the primary scorer, shooter, what have you.
He still led the league in assists at that time.
Yes, because you had two great scorers in the league.
That Nets team's chance was 2021 when they were the 2 seed, because they lost to Milwaukee in Game 7.
And even so, if KD just has a slightly smaller foot,
they're in the Eastern Conference Finals.
And the Bucks win the championship that year. So who knows? Maybe the Nets win the championship that year.
Who did the Bucks play in the Eastern Conference
Finals?
Finals?
Hawks.
Yeah, they would have destroyed them.
The Hawks.
They would have
and then it would have been them against the Suns.
And they would have beat the Suns too.
That was their chance. It's not. It would have worked.
But that's not. KD was doing everything that he could. I mean,
no, I'm saying,
Harden's got half a hamstring, and Kyrie goes down with another injury. I mean, here's what it comes down
to. The
to.
Harden trade wasn't a bad idea.
Why
for
are you
Brooklyn.
giving up on the team that you had a chance to win a finals with? You know that you had the chance to win the finals that year.
But look at what they have now, is what I'm saying. I think he doesn't have confidence in them building a team, especially
I think
this
Ben
year.
Simmons, right now, fits their system better than James Harden would have. Like you said.
But we don't know if he's going to play. Here's the problem. Is he going to play?
That's true, too.
That's what it comes down to, is that, you got this guy who has all this potential, but he's another headache, giant headache, that is a big question mark. It might just be Kevin Durant at the start of the season. Kyrie might not even show up, because Kyrie said, Kyrie's another one on it.
But all the reports that are coming out saying Kyrie's playing this year.
But
he's the only one that said he's playing this year.
I don't know, dude. I think he's going to be playing. I just don't think he's going to be playing for Brooklyn. But here's the thing. Kyrie also said he wasn't leaving Boston. So I don't believe...
Or Cleveland. He said he wasn't leaving Cleveland.
We know Kyrie and KD are both snakes.
Are they, though? I mean, is KD necessarily a snake, though?
He's the biggest snake of them all.
How?
OKC?
Yeah, so he left OKC. He never said he wasn't leaving OKC.
Yeah, but there was talks with him to the Spurs.
Yeah.
Him to other Wizards. There was teams to other teams.
Yes.
He goes to the team that just beat him.
Okay, so it was soft, but does that make him a snake?
Yes.
No, a snake to me is like Kyrie basically saying... Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
A snake to me... That was fantastic. A snake to me is Kyrie publicly stating, I'm rocking with you guys. I'm not going nowhere. And then the first opportunity, you're out.
But didn't KD do that?
No.
A few days before he signed,
everybody asked.
There was. Everyone was saying that he was sticking with OKC.
No,
the reports were going out were saying he was going to be a Thunder.
But that's not from him. He never once said that. That's
the
media
reporters
guys
saying that, yeah.
who didn't even ask him. And he was, every time he was asked, he goes, I got to make up my mind and come up with a decision. It's not like he stabbed anybody in the back here.
Well, apparently all the meetings that came out of every meeting that they came out, they said the Thunder were most likely going to retain him.
But that's bad reporting at that point.
Yeah,
because
that's not
he never
him
once
saying
came
that.
out and said that. And he doesn't like talking to the media as it is. So nobody got a quote from him, that's for sure. They probably got one from an optimistic GM at the time or a coach or players that were like, yeah, he's coming back. That's our guy. Why wouldn't he come back? And then he chose not to come back. All right? We still don't know what happened in OKC. I'm assuming him and Russ had a rift. I'm assuming that he was sick of not getting the job done. All right? Because they lost to Miami. They've lost to the Spurs. They couldn't get the job done. So for him, yes, was it a soft move? 100%. But was it like kind of condescending? Absolutely not. He said from the jump, I got to do what's best for me, and my decision's not made yet. So that does not say, hey, I'm coming back here. That says, hey, give me some time, but at the end of the day, I'm going to do what's best for me, not what is best for everybody else. And that's straight up, and I got to give him credit for that.
Like a snake move is the Cardinals saying Josh Rosen is our guy.
That's a snake move right there. All right? Like doing it, like, and especially setting people up last second for failure after you've been sitting there telling them one thing the entire time, and then you go from behind their back the first second that you get to. Kyrie's move with Boston was snakish, and that's coming from a Lakers fan. All right, like I could care less if he it was a bad move. Like, do I care that he didn't know? Because I'm a Lakers fan. But yeah, it's not great. So it's completely different. I think you're putting a lot on K. You know why you're putting a lot on KD? Because he is supposed to be the face of the franchise, and he is supposed to be one of the best players in the NBA, and he's not getting the job done for your franchise. That's why you were feeling this way right now, my friend. And I do not blame you. But let's be honest, you got some emotional attachment mixed in with this saltiness, and that's why this is affecting you more than us two right now.
You may be right.
Thank you.
You may be right. I will be the first to admit that I do get a little emotionally attached.
I mean,
to
who
stories.
doesn't?
Yeah.
Who doesn't? I don't blame you for it. That's why I'm not coming at you like that. I'm just saying you got to separate. Is KD soft? Yes. Is he a snake? How is he a snake? He didn't do anything snakish.
I want to know what would have happened if they signed Correa.
When you
I
endorse,
want to know what he would have done.
You know what I would have done.
He'd still be going on the same tangent from that day.
What would be your new team?
I said the Mets.
Oh.
If the Yankees signed Correa, I would have gone the Mets.
I can't stand you, but continue. Stick with the
But
basketball.
when you endorse a head coach and you are all in on this guy, and they lose not on factors related to him. They lost because they had injuries.
Yeah.
Why are you now turning your back on him?
But that's what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying. How is that different than?
It's different for, here's the thing, right? It's not like the entire year KD sat there. He says, yes, I'm endorsing this guy to come in. All right? Now, granted, I don't think he's given Nash a fair shot because Nash has been there, like a season? Two? Okay. So now, even more so, it's like, hey, 2 years and nothing's changed. Because I think to KD's mind, it's, hey, we should be at a championship level. We do have me and Kyrie when we're on, but we just saw it in the playoffs against Boston. All we had was me and Kyrie, and I wasn't doing nothing.
Yeah.
All right? We need a better team. Why do you think he wants the GM out? He wants better moves. You know?
What else can he give them?
What do you mean, though? What else could he give them? Look what Golden State gets every year. Look what LeBron gets most years. There's plenty of moves that look what Boston just did.
Well, LeBron elevates the talent around him. LeBron really doesn't get much.
LeBron doesn't get much.
What does he get?
What do you mean? He's got in past years. Okay? Let's just go through this. When LeBron has the best success, what does LeBron have? Let's look at Miami, a former scoring champion and finals MVP in Dwayne Wade.
All right, that's in the prime of his career. I'm talking about right now in the last 5 years.
He got the best big man in AD.
He got AD. Everyone else on that team is trash. KD at least has Kyrie, who's a top 3 point guard in basketball.
Yeah, but AD brings 10 times more to the table than Kyrie does.
When he's on the court?
Yeah, but guess what? When he was on the court, they won. They went all the way. What do you mean? That's what it comes down to.
So, yeah, LeBron elevates what he's got, too. That's also what it factors in.
I don't think he elevates.
Does KD really elevate the people around him?
But how is LeBron elevating anybody? Because everybody that's a shooter that comes to Los Angeles can't shoot the ball anymore.
That factors by LeBron standards?
Yeah, because guess what? Their entire thing is just LeBron doing his thing until it's time to kick it out to him. So who's he making better? Wayne Ellington, the best 3-point percentage.
Danny
in the
Green.
league. It fell off in LA, and I don't know why.
Still won a finals.
But not because of Danny Green, I promise you that.
He was a very good player that year.
He wasn't a good shooter that year, is what I'm saying. And that's what his main part was just 3 and D. He played good defense still. He always plays good defense. But something with, like, I don't know what it is. I'm not saying it's LeBron. I'm just saying who's getting elevated, though, because Wayne Ellington comes off of being the greatest 3-point shooter the year before in Detroit, comes to Los Angeles, and the numbers dip drastically. Danny Green, known as one of the greatest 3-and-D guys in basketball, did it with the Spurs, was a big part of that Toronto win with Kawhi, comes to the Lakers, and the shooting goes down. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, shooting goes down. Goes down every year, but like it is what it is. Okay? Kyle Kuzma is having a better year with Washington than he had with LeBron on the Lakers. I'm sure that goes to usage, but who is he elevating? He's not elevating nobody no more. Yeah, you could say for the Cavs he was elevating because guess what? He was getting them guys wide open looks, but it comes down to this. LeBron's not elevating nobody no more. He's doing his thing. The times that guys get elevated is when AD's on the court because he is the main worry for other teams when him and LeBron are on the court. AD's the better scorer currently right now where they stand. LeBron is still a great passer. LeBron is playing phenomenal, but he's not elevating nothing because when AD's not there, all they have to do is worry about LeBron, and he ain't Miami LeBron anymore. So nobody's getting elevated because they don't have to worry about it. They're going to shut down LeBron, and they're basically forcing those guys to step up to bigger roles than they're used to, and it's not working out. That's what it's coming down to. And guess what? That's why Vogel's gone, and if this don't work out, I'm sure Pelinka's going to be gone. And KD's saying, hey, I know it's been a shorter amount of time, but it ain't working, and we should be working because I know what me and Kyrie bring to the table when we're actually playing. But KD's usually playing. I mean, he had like one little injury with the Nets.
3 weeks this year.
You know, that's what I'm saying is that he's normally playing for the Nets. Kyrie's the one question mark on health and where he's going to be. But that's what he's saying is, bro, who else are they bringing in? I mean, Andre Drummond ain't what he used to be. Seth Curry was a quality player with
Aldridge.
Philly. You know, there's got to be more to Aldridge.
Millsap. They're bringing in guys past their prime, but they still can contribute to winning basketball.
I think that he's looking for talent that's going to, I think he just wants better depth.
And Cam Thomas. I think Cam Thomas should have got more playing time down the stretch.
And maybe he thinks the same. Maybe he thinks that, hey, you're just putting us out there in the entire... It seems like the game plan whenever you watch a Brooklyn Nets game is give the ball to KD or Kyrie and nobody else get involved. And maybe KD don't like that. Maybe KD wants guys to step up. Maybe he actually wants to win a championship. Nobody ever thinks about this. We always think that guys just want to be the center point. Maybe KD really just wants to win. How about that?
I don't know. I mean, every player wants to win.
That's such a lie, because if Bradley Beal wanted to win, he wouldn't have taken that contract. All right, some guys, if Damian Lillard wanted to win, he wouldn't have stayed with Portland. Yeah, he's loyal, but he's loyal to a fault. Not everybody wants to win. Some guys just want to be the hometown hero, and some guys just want the bag. Not everybody wants to be a winner because winning takes sacrifice. Look at Tom Brady. Why does Tom Brady win every year? Because he takes a pay cut. Why does LeBron win every year? Because, hey, we're going to give up all our draft picks and we're going in right now. Otherwise, I'm not going to be here. Because if you want me, I'm here to bring greatness. And the only way to bring greatness is if we go all in right now. That's what winners do. Not everybody wants to do that because it's hard. Not every GM wants to do that because if it doesn't work out, I got no draft stock to build it back up again, all right? And they're scared. That's what this is coming down to. Now, I'm not saying that the GMs for Brooklyn is Sean Marks.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Sean Marks is necessarily scared because he made moves. I'm just saying maybe he ain't making the right moves. Because I'm telling you right now, Karis LeVert and Jared Allen would have been better for that team than James Harden.
It's definitely a toss-up. I think both of them... I think James Harden, when he was healthy, with KD and Kyrie on the floor at the same time, they only played like 20 games.
Yeah, but nobody plays defense with them.
That's
the problem.
They only played 20 games, but in those 20 games, I think they went like, 18-2 or something like that?
Yeah, but it's
stupid
also,
like that.
It's also different when you're dealing with a series.
When you have three guys who dominate and they're on the floor at the same time, they could have won a championship.
Yeah, but look at who... But as we've seen, the defense matters, and those guys played no defense. Kevin Durant's the best defender out of three of them. Nobody's ever said Kevin Durant's an elite defender in the NBA.
Fair.
Yes, he's got length. Yes, he gets blocks. He can grab boards. But he's not an elite defender. He's nowhere near a Kawhi Leonard or even a LeBron James in his prime. You know, he's certainly not like Giannis. Jimmy Butler plays better defense. That's why Miami got as far as they have. So that's what it comes down to. I'm not saying that you don't get a James Harden when you have the opportunity, but you have to look at what you already have. When you already have guys in that James Harden role of being your primary ball handler, your primary scorer, in a Kyrie, in a Kevin Durant, you don't go out and get a third one because you have no defense. You have no role players. You need guys that don't need as many touches and guys that can pick up the best defensive assignment.
They had guys like that on the bench.
I don't think they did, is what I'm saying.
Bruce Brown?
Bruce is only as good as he can be.
I appreciate Bruce, but dude, I don't want Bruce.
Shamet that year was pretty good too.
Landry Shamet.
That's fine, but here's the thing. It's just like I said this to you. Remember when Alex Caruso was cooking in Los Angeles? I've said multiple times, I don't want him on the court in the fourth quarter guarding the best player. I don't want him taking a shot in the fourth quarter. I don't want him making a pass I don't want to see him in the fourth quarter of a playoff game. I'm sorry. He's a great role player. Just like Bruce Brown, they haven't shown me that they're going to be at the pinnacle of player. When there's guys on that team where it's like, yeah, I would much rather trust them. And I'd much rather would have trusted a Karis LeVert or a Jared Allen on the court than a Bruce Brown in some of those situations playing defense.
You're right.
Thank you.
Yep, but...
Because other than Jared Allen, their centers really look like LaMarcus Aldridge, who was on his way down.
Claxton.
Nicholas Claxton.
Who has some big upside, but he's young. And Andre Drummond's past the prime.
I think they think that they can develop Claxton to be like a Jared Allen.
It's possible, of course.
But is it going to happen in the time that they needed to with the KD Kyrie
That's the
window?
problem. And KD's impatient. And
because
he has every right to be impatient because he's 34.
And that's fair if you think that Claxton can be that. But that's where the conflict of going in all now or slightly building for the future.
You can't do both ever?
Who really does both?
I don't know how. That's kind of.
Because I'm telling you right now, LeBron's success has never been. LeBron not only does he win when he goes to teams, but he strips them and doesn't have to worry about them for a while once he leaves. All right, look how long it took Miami to build it back up. Okay, yeah,
it did not take crazy long time.
It took like 3 years maybe.
He didn't have to worry about them for 3 years though. And it's not like they were building through the draft necessarily. If Jimmy Butler doesn't go there, things do not happen as this good.
They built through the draft, bam.
Yeah,
hero.
that's fine. But but take Jimmy out. If they don't land Jimmy, they're nowhere near where they're at. Is what I'm saying. So it takes that big signing to land. You look at Cleveland; they built it up through the draft, but without a big signing, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, they were in the play-in last year and they didn't make it.
Because even if you end up being horrible and getting some draft picks back and getting a good spot, you most likely only got that guy. So that's what this comes down to. Look at the Lakers. The Lakers aren't going to have nothing, dude. They traded for AD. Okay, they gave up the entire future, and guess what? They won a championship, so it was worth it. Right?
You probably won't win another one for another.
And we'll see how this season goes. But, once it's over, it's like, if without big free agents, no, they're not building through the draft, man.
Well, we're going to stick with the Lakers here, as it apparently seems that LeBron James and the Lakers are making progress in contract negotiations for a little bit of an extension. Mazz, do you think that LeBron's going to be a Laker moving forward?
My heart wants to say yes, but my brain's saying no. And for the sole fact of, if he's going to sign the extension, that tells me that a Kyrie Irving deal is still in the works. Because LeBron is not going to stay there unless he basically knows I have a really good shot to build upon my legacy and win more titles. And make the gap between him and Jordan smaller. I don't think he ever beats him, I'm sorry, at this point. Especially even in winning with a Kyrie and getting that fifth ring. You had so much help to get it. Mike will forever be the GOAT in my eyes. But I think for him, it's, hey, I get back to the finals again. There's more help. This is enticing because I built upon my legacy. And who knows? Maybe it's like, Bronny is not, his son, Bronny James is not a coveted player right now and from the highest degree. what is he, like top 60 in his recruiting class?
Yeah, I think he's like 10 in the state or something like
Yeah,
that.
so that's what it's coming down to. Not saying that the kid's not good or not that he's not going to be good. I'm just saying right this second, this is not a Zion Williams player prospect. You know what I mean? This is not a LeBron James prospect where it's like we need to have this guy on our college team, or if we can get him into the team. You know what I'm saying? Where this is basically a kid where the Lakers could acquire them at the draft picks that they're going to have in those years, being a mid to late second
round guy.
So like if I'm sure LeBron's got conditions. Hey, I'll sign this contract, but 1, you got to get me Kyrie. 2, you take my son if he's still available. The first chance that we get, first pick, if it better be used on my son. That's what I'm thinking. That
would be the craziest contract, like the finest details. That'd be really
but here's the thing, though. Here's my question, right? Let's say that the Lakers get back into the first round. Let's say it's mid to late, right? And you got LeBron James, and LeBron says, I'll stay for another 2 years. You got to get me Kyrie, but you got to waste a 15th round pick on my son who potentially might not get to that talent level. But do you do it to keep a LeBron? That's the question.
I think you do.
You absolutely do.
I think LeBron at he's 38 now.
Yeah.
So LeBron, he'd be 40.
He's not 38 yet. He's 37.
Yeah, but he's going to be 38 in the middle of the season.
Yeah, in the middle of the season, he'll turn 38.
So when Bronny gets drafted, he'll be probably like 39.
Yep.
So yeah, 2 seasons
of LeBron, and all I got to do is waste a draft pick? Absolutely.
Yep. Because
here's the thing. This is still his kid. Now, the kids don't always live up to the father's
most of the
legacies.
time they don't even.
Sometimes they do.
Unless they're Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Vlad Guerrero Jr., Klay Thompson.
Griffey Jr.
Sometimes it happens.
David Stockton certainly is.
But guess what? Guess what the Lakers need right now? They need point guard depth. So yeah, sure. Why not get a Bronny James and take a shot at it? So
yeah.
I don't know.
What's the worst that could happen?
What would a LeBron extension look like? I want to say because
2 years, $700 million.
So if he's 37 now,
yeah,
and if he wants to sign 3-year extension, that'll get him to the end of his career with.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe you give him like 20, maybe 31 mil a year.
I think
average annual salary,
something around that.
31 mil.
I think you're looking at like a 3-year, like 130 million probably.
Will these players ever decline? Is it possible for them to ever
decline? We're seeing LeBron decline, bro.
Like a real one.
Yeah, for sure. He keeps on playing. It's gonna keep on going down because, dude, it's a lot of wear and tear.
He almost won a scoring title, man.
What's up?
He almost won a scoring title
for sure. But look, he's having more injury problems than he ever has. We're seeing him slow down, and it might not be from a talent level. We're seeing him slow down from a physical standpoint.
Well, yeah, of course. At 36 years old,
look at Brady. Look at this man. They could keep playing. It's not like they'd be.
At least look at.
It's not like how some guys get to the point where they don't have the talent to play anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, look, Boogie struggles to find a contract right now. I'm saying these guys will never not have a contract waiting for them to sign
because they don't get injured. That's what it comes down to. When has Tom Brady had a major injury in his career?
ACL injury.
He tore.
When was that?
2011.
2008.
Okay, so around that time.
It was 2011.
But that's one injury, right?
I'll bet so much money of 2008.
It's 2011. Trust me.
Trust me.
Connor, look it up.
That's when Matt Castle was starting.
I really want to know who's right here.
Who do you think is right?
I'm going to be honest with you, Ed. It has nothing to do with you. It's just like Connor is always right on the weirdest things. And every time I think I'm dead right, he somehow proves me wrong. So just off of history, I'm probably going to rock with Connor, but I would not be surprised if Ant was right.
You know how I know this? The Dolphins won the division in 2008 because of this.
Look it up. Let me know what it is.
I watched Tom Brady play against the Dolphins 2011.
Can you get me some proof here?
Oh, it's almost like he played one game in 2008.
And behind door number 1.
He had surgery in January 2011. Brady tore his left ACL and MCL.
Oh, January 2011, at the end of the season.
Hold on. Continue.
Was that Brady tore his left ACL and MCL in the first quarter of Week 1, had surgery, missed the rest of the season. 2011.
Look, he played all the games in 2011.
I mean...
2008, no.
I mean, yeah. 2011, they went 13-3.
They went to the...
Want to know?
They went to the soup that year.
Something's not right here.
They went to the soup that year.
Yeah, I think Connor's right, dude. I'm so confused.
They played the Giants.
Anyway,
remember?
That was 2011, wasn't it?
Yeah.
was 2012.
2011 season.
It was the 2011 season they played in 2012. Soup.
Yeah, Soup.
Yeah, I almost said it.
Soup.
Anyway,
Campbell's.
Where were we at?
But
that's the thing. These
talking about
guys
players
stay,
getting injured.
But look at Boogie, right? That
Yeah.
is a guy who is 6'10", tearing the Achilles, which is the worst injury to get in basketball.
Like in sports, I feel.
Specifically basketball, because there's a lot of jumping and a lot of
A lot of
those motions that
a lot of everything.
You use that plant foot. You know what I'm saying? Where LeBron really doesn't get injured. I mean, he had the groin injury, but we're seeing him now start slowing down. A lot more load management being into play.
Well, yeah, 36.
Tom Brady's only
games.
playing because he's got all-star offenses to, help carry the weight.
He's playing Madden.
I mean, what's up?
He's playing Madden, but in real life.
Think about this, right? Do you think Tom Brady still plays if he has the Ravens wide receiving core? Absolutely not. Do you even think Tom Brady's still playing if he has the Dallas Cowboys wide receiving core?
Yeah.
I don't think he does.
Come on.
Dude, it's a top 20 receiver in CeeDee Lamb. And then Michael Gallup is cool.
I don't think he's playing. I think it's, hey, I'm only playing because
Well, if he was still in the Patriots system, he'd still be playing.
I don't know about that.
I think so.
I don't know about that.
Because he still has a chance to win every year.
Yeah, but
Patriots don't have great
think,
receivers.
But here's the thing. I think he felt like he did enough. I think he was sick of dealing with Bill, and that's why he left. I mean, let's be honest. He wanted out of New England. So, yeah, I think, especially with their current roster, I don't want to do this. It's too much work.
Originally,
where here I can go chill down in Tampa. I got this great core around me of just talent that is capable of winning every year without me having to do this crazy regimen and having to play by Bill's rules at all time.
I remember reading the one thing where he definitely wanted out of New England at the end because they tried to trade him.
Yeah, because
imagine if they had done that and tried to make Jimmy G the new guy.
It.
That would have been so bad. Imagine if they had tried to make Jimmy G the new guy
he'd probably be better than what he is now.
But not like that though. Like, yeah, Kraft stopped it because Brady went and complained to him, right?
No, it stopped because Kraft said, "You're not trading Tom and we're rocking with Jimmy G. We're not trading Tom."
And they won 3 soups.
Exactly, but that's the thing is that I think not the Kraft relationship, but the Belichick relationship was already tarnished between Brady and him. Look at even Gronk.
Point, yeah.
You think Gronk plays that extra season like he did in Tampa if Tom's not in Tampa?
No.
Because he didn't want to be in New England. He didn't want to deal with Bill.
The Patriots were going to trade him.
Yeah. And he said, I don't want to go there. But do you think he would have played for the Patriots that year too? I don't know. I think he was done. I think everybody was done with Bill and putting up with it. Because it's like, hey, we've already done more than anybody ever else has, but this is just draining us.
Well, now you see why. He's taken over the entire team now, pretty much.
So we'll see what happens. If the Dark Lord can get it done, I mean, I'm not going to bet against him. He's the greatest mind in football ever. All right, but he's taken on a lot of responsibility. This is a year where if it doesn't work out, it's on him because he not only is he the head coach, he's the offensive coordinator, he's the defensive coordinator, he's still the GM, is he not?
Yep.
Okay, so he's making every decision. He might as well just own the team at this point.
Yep.
All right?
He runs the team. He's the manager.
He is the team. They should just make him the logo.
It's the New England Belichicks.
The New England Belichicks.
The Bills. The Bills.
We already have the Bills. It's the New England Belichicks, and it's him with his cut-off hoodie. That's it. That's what it comes down to. So if it doesn't work out here, even if it comes down to injury or whatever, it's on him, dude. So Bill's taking a big shot here, and I don't know if it's going to pay off, but I do know one thing. Tom's still going to be just doing his thing and right into 40 touchdowns probably.
Yeah, and 5,000 yards.
5,000 yards.
Now that he's got Julio and
he's
probably,
and let's be honest, he's probably going to be in the big game at the end of the year.
It's a good shot.
You know, he's.
I'm not betting against him this year. The only team that really has a chance of taking him down is LA.
Yeah, the Rams. That's it.
Against the Miami Dolphins. Yep.
I don't think Green Bay has a chance. I don't think
it.
the Cowboys have a chance of taking down Tom.
I don't think we do either. I'm gonna
Eagles,
be honest with you.
way.
The only way that the Cowboys have a chance of taking
Gotta get past
down
the Eagles
Tom,
first, bro.
What's up?
They gotta get past the Eagles first.
Who? The
Dallas.
Cowboys? Stop it, dude. Stop it. I'm so sick of hearing about this, bro. Line them up. Line up the positions. We beat them, bro. All right? Name a defensive talent they have that's on Micah Parsons' level.
saw Jordan Davis move that lineman in training camp, bro.
Okay, but is he
Jeez.
a generational talent? We'll see. Because Michael Parsons is already looking like one. This is how the Cowboys can compete against Tampa. I don't have faith in it. But this is the only way. First off, the offense has to score and not put Dak in bad situations. Right then and there, I have no hope that that's not going to happen because we got worse on offense with Amari Cooper leaving. Okay? And I still can't trust Mike McCarthy in these situations because he's proved time and time again he just should not be the guy with Dallas. Just like Jason Garrett did, just like Wade Phillips did. The Cowboys have suffered not from bad rosters, not from Jerry just controlling most things. They suffered from awful head coaching. Okay? Also, if they keep on going at Diggs because he gives up a lot of yards and he comes up with turnovers, that gives me hope. But that's about it. Nothing else is giving me hope against it. Tampa Bay's the team to beat in my eyes outside of Los Angeles. And even then, I'm still rocking with Tom because the guy has the better chance of making the Super Bowl.
And he just lost to them, so that makes him even more determined.
Oh, that's...
What's up?
And he just lost to them? You think Tom Brady's going to lose to an opponent 2 years in a row in the playoffs?
Dude, I think...
That is not happening.
Dude, Gronk's coming back week 10.
Week 9.
Probably, okay?
Let's all make bets. Which week, guys?
They're probably... I'm saying week 10.
Week 16 for the playoff push.
Dude, here's the thing. The absolute last second they're allowed to sign him, he's coming back.
In the divisional round.
Yeah, so this is what it comes down to. Is that... And not only that, because they have Tom Brady, guess what they're going to do? They're not going to be afraid of making moves mid-season to get even better. Because that's what champions do. Thank you. Thank you for my time here with Mazz in the Midday here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
Well, now we're going to move on a little bit. Do we want to stay with basketball or do we want to go to
We got to ride it out. We got to ride it out, yeah.
I thought we were on football.
We were talking football for the last 10 minutes.
Bring it back wherever you want, whatever you think.
Well, we didn't get the chance to cover this, but the Drew League, man, it's been heating up.
Dude.
Bro. Ooh, the beast of the Drew
Anybody
League.
see DeJounte Murray just giving it to Paolo Banchero? Right. Shout out Big J because your boy got busted.
All right, yes. I got to say something real quick. DeJounte Murray's being a little hypocritical right now, bro.
Yes, for sure.
You're telling a kid, be humble, stay humble, and then you're bouncing the ball off 9 to 5 workers' heads, bro.
Hey, I'm just saying this, though. When you win All-Star, that's what it comes down to.
But you're playing random schmucks at the YMCA.
You're absolutely right.
Playing me. You're playing me.
But guess what? That guy was... You don't think those guys were talking smack to him?
So whatever, yeah. You're a 9 to 5 worker. You're playing as an NBA player.
So
all right, try.
Dude, of course they're going to be talking smack.
But you're an NBA player, dude. It's not an accomplishment to talk to a guy like that.
But he's not... is he talking to him? He just showed him, like, bro, I can mess with you 6 ways from Sunday.
All right, yeah.
And there's
you
nothing
can do
6
ways. I have no problem with you doing that. I have no problem.
You know what Murray told him? He said, I'm closer to LeBron James than you are to Brian Scalabrine with that move.
I have no problem with him talking smack. But don't go and lecture to a young kid to be humble after doing that.
But Banchero, it's reported that Banchero bragged about being the number 1 overall pick to him.
Apparently Murray was talking smack beforehand. So
he should.
What else is the kid going to talk about?
But that's if you're going to talk smack, back it up. Because he
didn't play bad against him, from what I heard.
But guess what we're talking about? Guess what everybody remembers? The play that made him look like a fool. I'm talking that little fake pass behind his back. Murray threw it off the glass and yammed it, and Paolo's just sitting there looking at it like, oh, gee, what just happened? I'm out here in no man's land. All right,
Big J's boy.
Big J's boy.
Yeah, the Duke connection there.
Dude, listen, the Duke players are soft, all right? I'm saying it right now. Duke's soft, all right? Paolo, soft. I like Zion. Still got to play. Soft.
Is JJ
Kyrie
soft?
Kyrie, soft. Who?
JJ Redick.
Absolutely, dude. He's sitting there going at guys that aren't even
Grayson
alive
Allen.
anymore. Who?
Grayson Allen.
Bum. He's not even a schmuck. He's a bum. He's not even soft.
Jason Tatum.
You want to talk about snakes? Soft. Tatum, soft. Look at the finals. You don't believe me? He's soft. Okay?
Jahlil Okafor.
Okay. All right. That
He doesn't even barely plays. Okay.
RJ Barrett.
I'll give RJ some credit. But let's not remember when they asked Zion if he was okay with going to New York. And then Zion turns, hey, RJ, they asking if we want to go to New York. And RJ laughed, and now he in New York. So good one, buddy. Good one. All right, so not soft. I'll give him credit there because it's not like he's trying to get out of or anything. But like, RJ's probably like the not soft guy out of everybody I just named. And yeah, Reddick, he's going at guys that aren't even alive anymore. Congratulations.
What about Grant Hill, bro? Come on, what about Grant Hill?
Dude, he's injury prone.
But he was a dog on the court, bro.
Yeah, when he played, but he didn't play.
But
Congratulations.
you're calling him soft because he got injured?
Yeah.
That's not soft.
That's soft.
That's just getting injured.
Dude, we just called Kyrie soft for being injured all the time. What's the difference?
Kyrie's mentally soft. He's not injury
Oh,
soft.
he's injury soft too.
But you can't call a guy soft for being injured.
Yes, I
Derrick
can.
Rose soft.
Yes.
That's ridiculous, dude. You guys can't control that.
But you know why they're soft? Because Derrick Rose came back and dropped 50. All right? Who does that? Derrick Rose isn't soft. He's a good guy. All right? But he
got injured, didn't he? According to your logic, he's soft.
All right, listen, I might have got a little ahead of myself. I'm just coming at Duke a little bit, all right? So I won't come at Grant.
Derrick Rose is a Memphis man. Come on.
Derrick Rose is a Memphis man. Where did that come from?
Because you said you're calling Duke players soft, and then you went to
Because of
Derrick
injuries?
Rose, yeah, and then
I had nothing.
Gonna get a whole catalog of Duke players, run
So,
through all of them, see if they're all soft.
real quick, I just want to say, is this Drew League here to stay, man, or is this like a new thing that's going to be happening?
Where have you been?
It's been
a thing for like
forever,
ever, dude.
I know, but like I haven't really seen much attention to it till this offseason.
Oh no, all
dude,
these NBA
every
players
summer,
do it.
NBA
Yeah, every
play-
summer.
Dude, Kobe was playing in it.
Trey Young was playing. Yeah, they all play in it.
So
during
it's
the
a
summer.
thing out in LA, right?
I'm just saying this
Let's find
summer
out.
is the first time I've really seen much coverage of it.
That's just because of the highlights.
Yeah, it
that's
is in
been-
LA.
And the beef and
They've
all
had
that
it since
stuff.
'73. They've
I
had
mean,
it since
guys are always
1973.
guys have always played in it. It's just you're seeing more and more cameras on it because people
It's the internet, too.
Here's the thing:
It's
it
social
comes,
media.
It comes down to these iPhones. Everybody's a content creator these days. You know, where back then it's like, yeah, you didn't really know what was going on at it if you weren't there because it wasn't getting that much coverage. But guys were always going to, and they were always busting people at it. You know, but
They've had.
I think it's a great thing, dude. You got people that may never get to see an NBA game, and guys are in your local neighborhood playing ball. I wish there,
Like Rucker Park.
I wish there was more Rucker Parks. I don't even think Rucker's a thing anymore.
Is it?
No, I think it's they took it down if I'm not
not.
mistaken.
Harden's been
Wow.
in the Drew League. There's a ton of NBA players that have played in the Drew League.
Dude, speaking of Drew League, my boy LiAngelo Ball has been heating up in it, bro.
Yeah, he's in
You
the
think
Drew
he's
League
gonna get
too.
a shot, dude? I don't think so, but I wish he
I
would.
think he'll get a G League contract.
Oh, he'll definitely get a G League.
Bogey was in the
contract.
Drew League. DeMarcus. Yeah, well, that's the same guy. DeRozan, Andre Drummond, KD was in the Drew League. They've all done it. Paul George,
Did Tatum do it ever?
Harden, Kuzma, a ton of guys. Chris Paul,
Well, DeJounte Murray's been saying that he wants people to come out if you're an NBA player and like.
Paul Pierce.
Bring back the Rucker Park League, bro. I'd be so down to go see that.
J.R. Smith is the most Drew League player I can think of.
I gotta be honest. Each year I see it, I always feel like DeMar DeRozan's just a staple of it.
Yeah.
You know, John Wall was for a while too. You know, I mean, like guys go out there and they ball, they get their summer runs in. I think it's a good thing. But
Swaggy P.
oh my god!
Well, if you say the word Swaggy P in front of Mazz, he might lose his head.
Every time somebody just says Swaggy P, I always just get that flashback of when he shot that 3-point shot and he turned around, did his little shake, and it's like, oh, went in, and the ball literally went in and rimmed out and bounced right back out.
Stop it. Get some help.
DeJounte Murray leaves San Antonio and boom, personality explodes. I'm telling you, something about San Antonio is, it sucks the life out of you.
Pop might have seen it, bro. Pop doesn't like those characters, man. Pop saw DeJounte Murray talk one little snag. Goes, all right, I can't have this guy in my locker room. Send him right
dude,
out.
what it came down
Atlanta.
I mean, listen. So Atlanta's got personality, bro.
Trey, John,
I love Atlanta.
They still have John Collins now, man.
Dude, they're gonna be a scary team.
I think Atlanta's gonna be a top 5 seed in the East.
I'm just worried about the defense that they're bringing because Murray's only like what?
I mean,
like
they still got Capella.
Isn't Murray like 6'3", 6'4"?
Murray is 6. I think he's 6'4". It's not bad.
It's not bad, but
He can guard a forward.
it's gonna be tough.
They still got Capella inside.
what a weird
John Collins.
They got good defense. That's not bad defense, man.
6'4". No, I'm just worried about the height that him and Trey are giving up because Trey's like what, 6'1"?
Yeah, but
Trey's
think about it.
5'11", I thought.
Yeah, he's short, dude.
But
yeah.
look, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Clint Capella, set.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I
But like,
I'm
it's the same
really
thing with that.
excited
It's the
for
same thing
Atlanta.
with Memphis. Like, are you gonna knock Memphis because they got short guards? that can't really cover, like
Jaren
Ja.
Jackson, Steven
They
Adams.
still got good defense on the
No, you're
court.
right. You're right. But here's the thing, though. Their worst defender is better than Trae Young's defense.
But Trae Young could put up 29,
And so could
4,
Ja.
and 11.
So could Ja.
That's what I'm saying. So they're on the same caliber of team. I think Atlanta's ceiling could be a top 2 seed like Memphis. They got similar sort of team.
Okay, but if
layouts.
you had to rock with a team of who you think is the better team, who you rocking with?
Oh, that's a tough question.
I'm rocking with Memphis.
I'm gonna rock with Memphis just because they've had success already.
I'm rocking with Memphis because they get the job done.
But here's
even
the thing:
when Ja's not there.
Atlanta made it to an Eastern Conference Finals.
Here at 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair.
Top of the hour.
This is top of the hour, and Mazz in the midday.
I'm just taking Memphis because I just believe they've had the success already. But Atlanta's been to an Eastern Conference Finals in the last 2 seasons with a much worse roster than they do right now.
But the East has always been easier.
Yeah, but they beat Philadelphia,
Whoa.
who's the 1 seed in the second
Yes.
round.
Yes.
Oh, are you talking about the series that Ben Simmons fell apart and didn't
Yeah.
take a shot in the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why they won.
That's not their problem.
They also had Joel
That
Embiid.
isn't their problem, but that's why they won.
Did Embiid have a good series that series?
Probably.
Yeah, he did. But
He was all
Most
right.
likely.
But the problem was that their second best guy refused to play basketball.
In a good way.
Dude, when you are 6'10", and you on a fast break, and you got 6 foot Trae Young underneath the basket, I assume the weight difference has to be like 100 pounds, and you don't dunk it on his head. Are you kidding me? That is some mental yips right there, bro. That is worse than that's worse than Markelle Fultz at the free throw line.
Oh my!
In terms of a mental block. Dude, Ben Simmons is a really good athlete. Really, dude, athletically, he was compared to LeBron.
Dude, he was going to be the number 1 pick out of high school if the high school draft was still a thing.
Yeah. And there was a lot of similarities to Ben Simmons' game right out of LSU and LeBron's
Dude,
game.
Ben Simmons only
first year
played
in
how many
Cleveland.
games at LSU? He played like what, 15?
Something like that.
He didn't even play in the tournament. He didn't do anything, but he still was number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, dude. 'cause
LSU
he's
didn't
a
even
freak
make it,
athlete, You know? So that's what I'm saying is that Ben Simmons absolutely should have dominated
Against
Trae Young that entire time.
Was he? Wait, he was guarding Trae Young.
Dude, he was doing everything. You know, he just wasn't doing nothing. That was the problem. is
He
that
was assigned.
afraid
He
to
was
play.
assigned to do everything, but wasn't doing.
All he had to do was just hit his wide open layups and dunk in on fast breaks, and he refused to do it. Just pass it to the corner, even though they have a wide open bucket.
Because
guess what? When you got Trae Young in the paint, it's the equivalent of having a wide open bucket.
Yeah, he ain't blocking anything.
Thank you.
Could you score on Trae Young in the paint?
No, I'm not. Trey's taller than me by like 6 inches.
Yeah,
But
and
do you
we
know
ain't
who you
NBA
are?
players,
You
bro.
are the greatest athlete to ever touch a basketball.
That's such a lie. I don't know why you're saying this. Whose man's is this?
It's
Who is he coming at?
Come out to the courts tonight when me, Mazz, and Connor go out. and
Oh,
hoop.
yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah. See me just brick. We can build a house with it.
Do our best Russ impression.
Don't you disrespect him because he'd still bust you.
That's true.
Thank you, next.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break here on Ant Mazz the Midday. Coming up, a couple of big trade requests in the NFL. We're going to discuss that, some baseball talk, and then a new segment here on Ant Mazz the Midday that we are going to keep rolling at you with. So stick with us here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Be right back. You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Ant Mazz in the Midday coming at you in the second hour.
Do you think Connor fidgets at dinner?
He definitely does.
He's definitely the kid that just swirls his like spaghetti just for 30 seconds. Everything falls off as he's trying to eat it.
Do you think Connor, like when he was eating Dino Nugs as a kid, would make like the
He's not
entire,
Dino
like,
Nugs.
That's Dan.
That's
That's Amoya.
Boy, it's Dino Nugs.
No, but like
And
Connor,
he wears the
when you-
feety pajamas.
I did him dirty that day, bro. I did.
No, I'm saying, do you think Connor's a kid when he eats dinosaur nuggets, makes like the entire force with the mashed potatoes and the broccoli and everything?
He definitely was. Connor, you were definitely the kid that didn't want your food touching, weren't you?
No, I don't care.
Yeah, you just mixed all the chaos together?
Yeah.
And you were definitely the kid that
Oh,
didn't
for
like
sure.
it touching.
Dude,
Don't
I was
lie.
such a picky eater as a kid.
I mean, I was too, but...
Oh, as a kid. Like as
Yes.
a little I feel like not as bad as other people, but I'm pretty sure that had to have happened at some point.
Okay. Interesting.
You guys have friends that still do that now?
They play with their food?
No, they can't. It can't touch.
That's crazy.
No.
I do.
And he's not getting a shout out, so anyway.
All right. So
He knows who he is.
Yeah, they know.
We're getting into our football conversation here in the second hour. And big news coming out of Chicago. Apparently, one of the best middle linebackers in football, Roquan Smith, has
Said, "I'm outta here."
requested a trade from Chicago. And why wouldn't he? Chicago is just a dumpster fire right now, bro. Their best receiver is Darnell Mooney. Justin Fields is their quarterback. And you saw what Justin Fields was doing in his rookie year. Wasn't pretty.
Who does he got?
Got no one. He got no offensive line. He got nothing. I think he could be a quality NFL quarterback, but he's just set up for failure right now. On the defensive side of the ball, they lost Akeem Hicks. They lost, Kyle Fuller? They lost
Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack's gone.
What's going on?
All there's
in
left is
Chicago?
Roquan. And Roquan's seeing this all around him, all falling apart, and he's like, I want out. And I don't blame him.
Well, you just saw Khalil Mack go to the Chargers.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
he said, I want to get to a good team. Tampa, sign me up.
So now that Roquan Smith's on the trade market, there are some teams that are, vying for services. Like, who wouldn't?
Who's at the top of the list right now?
I think Atlanta's a team that has been discussed, but they have Deion Jones already.
But here's the thing, though. Why would you leave the Browns just to go join
The Bears.
I'm sorry. Why would you leave the Bears just to go join a team that's in a similar position?
But, like, there are teams like, I heard Baltimore in the mix, but Baltimore doesn't have, he's going to look for a big-time extension. The Bears are also, that's also one of the reasons also why he may be out of Chicago, is because the Bears aren't willing to offer him a massive extension, which, who are they paying?
Nobody.
Exactly. Why aren't you're offering your best player an extension when you have no one to pay right now?
Poverty franchise.
But they live in they're Chicago, bro. It's one of the biggest sports markets.
And they
right
find
now.
a way to do it somehow.
Time out. They're not the Browns. You can't hit it with a poverty franchise. Miami's a poverty franchise.
No.
I mean, they have more big soups than Chicago.
That is a fair point.
That's fair, but do they have a better history necessarily?
Yes.
I don't know.
It's
100%.
I'm just thinking of Mike Ditka and stuff. Listen,
Mike
I mean,
Singletary,
Oh.
Brian
Dude,
Urlacher.
listen.
Now that you mention all that, they definitely don't have more.
Listen. You listen. That is a rough term using to hit the team with like a poverty franchise, just dumpster fire franchise.
How about this?
They do
In
not,
the present
like
day, they
Detroit.
are.
That's like
Yeah.
not this like I mean like
The
Detroit
Browns,
Lions.
yeah.
The Browns the same way, especially with this ongoing situation. It just won't end. What is going on here?
The
We
Bears.
got to get to that later too. I can't. I thought it was.
Any team that needs a franchise linebacker, jump. Kid's
Yeah,
one of the
where
best.
would
He's
you like
only
Roquan led the league in
25.
tackles last year,
But
man.
where would you like to see it?
Miami?
Dude? This kid wants everybody in Miami. Do you think he's going?
No.
I think the
They,
Chargers.
they,
could be in
they
on.
just got stripped of
Dude.
those draft picks. They don't
If
have
the-
the.
Dude, if the Chargers end up getting Roquan Smith,
Top
it's
5
over.
defense.
They already
Ever.
have a top 5 defense, and now if you
Forget
get
top 5 defense this year. Top 5 defense ever.
It would be ridiculous. I think they're top 10 right now.
They're top 3 right now.
You think?
Already.
You think they're top 3?
Dude, they have Khalil Mack. They have Joey Bosa. They have J.C. Jackson. They have Derwin James. They already have an insane team. They already have Kenneth Murray, too. And he's not a bad inside linebacker. You put Roquan Smith and you trade... I think Kenneth Murray might have to be a part of that deal for Roquan Smith. But if you get Roquan Smith and upgrade, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Would you hit the Jets with a poverty franchise?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
You gotta.
I guess.
Mekhi
they've been
Becton
the
just
worst-
broke his kneecap also. He's out for a year.
I'm going to be. It was a kneecap break?
Yeah.
Wow. I
Yeah,
knew it was
Becton-
bad.
yeah,
I didn't know it was
He's
that
out for
bad.
the season.
That's tough, especially for Zach Wilson, man.
At least they already moved him to right tackle.
Yeah, but now Zach Wilson's got no tackle.
Dude, that's rough. But I could see the Jets going in on Roquan Smith.
Yeah, that's actually a possibility.
You know,
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
of
course.
they're looking to build up the
Here's the
defense.
thing.
They're trending in a better direction than Chicago is.
That's a Jets type of move.
Oh, for sure.
They trade a lot of guys for a young up and coming linebacker. They did with C.J. Mosley. They signed C.J. Mosley a few years ago. And he's still there, I'm pretty sure. He hasn't played much, but he's
there.
but he hasn't played much in the 3 years since they've gotten him.
I could absolutely see them going in on a Roquan Smith. I think that is such a Jets move.
Who would the Jets? What would the trades have to give up? Probably 2 picks, maybe. Like
Probably.
a second and third, maybe.
I was thinking like a second and fourth, maybe.
I wouldn't be a bad deal. I'd take that deal.
Take that deal all day.
Dude, Roquan Smith is an established star on the defensive side of the ball.
Absolutely. And he's already doing it in Chicago. So why wouldn't he be able to do it in New York?
Yeah, and I gotta say, inside linebacker is probably the toughest position to play on the defensive side of the ball.
I'd say so. It's the quarterback of the defense.
You have to make every tackle in the open field. He's probably one of the best open field tacklers in all of football, which is critically important nowadays. You need guys that can be able to tackle because there's so many guys on the defensive side of football now that don't know how to freaking tackle.
You got that right. I mean, but that's what comes with them taking the violence out of football. You know, not that like it's a hard hitting sport, and it's like anytime you see a big hit, there's a flag coming out. So it's like, hey, do I even go for it? Because who wants the fine? You know, you're gonna get paid for playing the game regardless. Do I want the fine to like? It's not like the team's gonna pick it up on me. That's the problem. Is that we've put the defense at such a disadvantage over the years. We're seeing them starting to get it back a little bit, but they've done.
Did you see the first play of the Hall of Fame game?
Nah.
They called. I forgot who it was. They called someone. I think it was on the Raiders.
Roughing the passer, play of the game.
Yeah, and it wasn't even roughing the passer.
Dude.
The guy still had the ball in his hands, and the guy sort of pushed him from behind while he still had the ball in his hands, and they called a roughing the passer.
Dude, we've got to stop with this protect the quarterback at all costs type thing. He's on the field. If it's a good hit, it's a good hit. It is what it is.
Like if you hit him like 3 steps late, that's a different story.
100%. Just do what the original rules have been.
But if you're going full speed at the quarterback and the ball's out by a split second, clean. It should be clean.
Absolutely.
But like if the ball's out and you take 5 steps and then you hit him,
just do the same rules that we grew up with. Early 2000s, just bring back those rules. They were fine. Okay? You had 2 steps. If you were within 2 to 3 steps and the ball just left his hand, it's a fine hit. I'm not saying you got to put the helmet in his chest. Okay?
Strap him.
You know? Like, dude, you couldn't even wrap up a quarterback's knee for a little bit. If you were anything below the knee, it's a no-no.
You had an area from knee
like it's
to
not already hard
chest.
enough to get a sack. Like, it's near impossible right now. Like, anything that they do, you can't go helmet to helmet, but running backs could drop their head into anybody's chest. Okay, so the
NFL
linebacker
wants offense.
So let me get this straight.
If it were up to the NFL, they would want 45 points.
No, I
every
understand.
game.
Nobody wants that, dude. That's just boring.
I want an all-around good game. Offense, defense, play solid game.
But so this is what I don't understand is that the running back can protect himself and drop his helmet even though it's dangerous. But like, if you're gonna drop it into my chest, like I'm gonna get the worst hit from that. But a linebacker can't change his level to meet a guy who's getting lower. That makes no sense.
It's all favored towards the offense, yeah.
You know? I mean, like, dude, a wide receiver goes up for the ball. I'm making a play on the ball. I can't even hit the guy.
Yeah.
Just let him...
If the ball is out of bounds, sometimes they call pass interference.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, if I was just cornerbacks everywhere, I'd just stop playing. Like, I'd show up, be like, oh, okay, you're making my job impossible. They snap the ball, everybody just stop moving. Because I know what that's going to do to ratings. That's going to change the game tremendously. If they did that one series, just one series of everybody in the backfield, on the defensive side, not backfield, in coverage, just stopped moving, you don't think that the NFL would be like, all right, fellas, you made your point. Let's get back to this. Come on, man. I'm for it. I want to see the DBs.
It's too soft.
Dude, even DNs, too. Everybody on defense, if they would just, boom, play happens, just stand there. Go ahead. This is what the game is now. Do it in a preseason game.
Yes.
You know, right in the preseason game. Like, this is what you've made the game. You made our job impossible.
Okay, they can't do it in a preseason game because those guys are fighting for a spot on the roster.
No, but hold on. The first thing is usually the first
series. You're trying to say the starters.
Yeah.
Got
starters should 100% be like, psh, this is where the game's going to.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Not only is the NFL there's a lot of guys in it, but they're not all guaranteed contracts. So you're already making my job harder when a lot of my contract on the defensive end is from incentives, okay? It's from being an all-pro or whatever. So you're already making it impossible for me to hit my extra money. No problem. You want to mess with my money, we're going to mess with everybody's money. I'll mess with the ratings.
Shake up everything. But then you'd be out of the job.
No, I wouldn't. You think Roquan Smith didn't play one series, he'd be out of a job?
But you think one series is going to drive down all of the ratings?
No, I just think that they're going to be afraid enough of what could happen to the ratings because people aren't going to watch it.
But you know that the players won't keep up with that.
They could.
I don't think so.
But it has to be everybody.
But here's the thing: you're not just losing
Power by people, dude. You got to stand together and united here.
So this is like an NFL strike, playing strike.
Yes, this is exactly
Change
what
the
I'm
rules,
saying.
strike.
Listen, if I'm a defensive player, like if I was Roquan Smith, say I'm getting everybody together and be like, listen, they're gonna make this harder on us. Bet.
They're competitors, man. They're not gonna do that.
That you should, because guess what? Then you could really, you can't even compete. You can't even compete right now. You're basically playing the game in handcuffs. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Imagine if we just tied your legs together and said, go play. That's basically what they're doing to them.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Let the defense play.
The game definitely favors the offense,
and it's annoying.
But there's also times back in like the 70s and 80s where the game kind of benefited the defense.
Well, that's why they changed
It's
the
just,
rules
it's with eras, man. Eras change. They change the rules to benefit a certain side of the ball.
Just stick with everybody. Hey, listen. If you got the ball, you can get hit. That's all we're asking for. If you go up for a play, knocking a receiver's legs out from under him is not dirty. I'm sorry.
Like what?
If you go up for a ball, right? Let's say you're a receiver.
You just
and
spin
Connor
them?
comes. If you go up for a ball and Connor comes from the side and just drops his shoulder into your thigh while you're up in the air trying to make a catch, that's not dirty. That's
you do it early or you do it like as the ball hits it?
You're in the air, caught the ball, and he hits you. That's fair. It's making a play on the ball.
I think so too.
Okay,
I'm not disagreeing with you.
No, listen, there might be some hazards that come with landing, but that's the game.
That's on your quarterback for giving you a bad throw.
Exactly my point.
We don't blame quarterbacks anymore. We coddle quarterbacks.
We need to stop the coddling. Stop with this.
Protect the quarterbacks. All called
dude,
Brady even says that.
Dude, you guys remember when Clay Matthews was playing and
yeah,
dude,
it was for like 3 weeks.
They took like 5 sacks off his career, bro. Like, now let's be honest. A guy like Clay Matthews, that's borderline HOF right there. You know, like he needs every sack he could have gotten at that time. I think so too. But like at that time, dude, it was, hey, those sacks might be the difference of making it or not. That's what I'm saying, dude. I mean, when you're dealing with a half a season of not being able to get sacks, like, come on, dude. The body weight rule was the worst thing they've ever implemented.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
How you supposed to make a tackle, man?
Dude, he was the worst offender of it, and he wasn't even an offender, quote unquote.
Yeah, because here's the thing. If you're wrapping a quarterback and you have to, like, roll him to make sure he lands on top of you, he can just get the ball off.
Dude, do you know how dangerous that is? Just for, like, even like that, like, you're rolling him. He rolls his ankle, and then, you hurt Tom Brady, boom.
And then the roll rule. You can't roll a quarterback now.
It just makes no sense. What is the point of this?
I'm all for player safety.
Yeah, but
make sure the players.
But you're not protecting all the players.
But I'm saying, make sure there are lives after football that are okay and they can live. But when you are pretty much making the game unplayable for a certain side of the ball, it's a problem.
Dude, not for nothing. You don't think that's going to potentially injure me if I got to light up? Even You're allowed to go 110%.
Yeah. If
I got to go at 70%. You don't think that's putting me at risk?
I'm going full speed and I have to stop before I get you. That can cause a knee injury.
That's literally a no-contact injury waiting to happen. Just a grown... Listen, these guys
are
close to 300 pounds, some of these defensive linemen. Running full speed, they run faster than your favorite high school track athlete, some of them. All right, and them having to stop on a dime so that they don't get a big hit on a quarterback that's going to be completely legal anyway. You're talking some serious knee damage potentially. A ruptured Achilles. There's a lot of bad things that could happen. So yeah, player safety, but it's unfair when I have to play at 70% and you get to play at 110%. I'm potentially going to get hurt. It makes no sense.
Boo.
Boom.
NFL.
Boo.
So moving on here in our football discussion, another guy requested a trade. Kareem Hunt, the number 2 running back in Cleveland. He's been probably the best number 2 back in all of football these last 2 years.
Well, you would think Kareem Hunt would want to stay there with the passings that happened with him. Deshaun Watson's taking all the heat off him.
Well, here's the thing, man. They
already told him we won't be traded yet.
He's been in contract negotiations with Cleveland. They don't want to extend him. He's asked for the trade, and Cleveland's pretty much told him no.
No, yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Like that's the whole thing about these trade requests.
They got Nick Chubb. That's the thing. But that's the thing. Nobody You don't have to do it.
No, yeah, the whole thing with these trade requests, like, okay, cool. We don't have to listen to you. You're under our like even Kevin Durant.
But
they don't have to. They could keep a GM, head coach, and him. They don't have to listen to him.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Kareem Hunt.
Well, I've never heard of I've heard of a no trade clause. I never heard of like a hey, if I want to get traded, you have to trade.
Yeah, there's no have to trade me
clause. There's no must trade clause.
Yeah,
and also Cleveland knows that the last time a running back held out, it didn't go so well for him in Le'Veon Bell. He came back and he was terrible.
Melvin Gordon, Le'Veon Bell.
If you're a running back and you want to hold out, chances are when you come back, you're not going to be the same running back.
Yeah, because you need the season.
So that's what the Browns know, and they're pretty much telling him, if you want to sit out, go ahead. You're going to ruin your career.
It's not like they don't have. It's not like he's their starting running back. What leverage does he have? He's the backup running back.
Here's the thing. I mean, that takes a lot of weight off of Nick Chubb's shoulders.
For sure.
That offense.
The Browns did the same thing with Njoku because he did the same thing, but then he ended up getting a bigger role in a long-term contract anyway. So, like, I mean,
we'll see what happens. It's just that, like, especially with Cleveland, like, dude, that is, if this Watson thing ever ends, it's a decent place to be. All right? I'm sick of talking about the Watson thing.
We got to talk about it.
But I will say, we might as well just get to it right now because Kareem Hunt ain't going nowhere, let's be honest. If you're them, are you trading him? No, I'm not trading him because guess what?
Let him sit.
Because, yeah, I'm going to let him sit because for what he brings in that backup role, it's like, yeah, congratulations. I'm not going to get a guy that's good. And you know what? You owe us one because we took a shot on you when nobody wanted to touch you. Mm-hmm. Okay? So that's what it comes down to. Because, hey, listen, he got into that situation too.
Yep.
You know, with the female, and if you know what I'm talking about.
The Chiefs got him. He was on the best team in football at that point.
That's what I'm saying. So it's... And Cleveland took a chance with him. And, yeah, dude, I don't know. I'm not saying that you necessarily have to be there, but it's like, yeah, if I'm Cleveland, I'm thinking of, hey, we did you a solid, and you're going to ride out this contract. You don't want to re-sign, that's fine.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
you're not number one running back, too. You want to get paid number one running back money, and you haven't been a number one running back in 4 years.
Exactly. So that's what it comes down to. And now we come over to my favorite topic.
Deshaun Watson.
If you can't recognize the sarcasm, I promise you I'm being sarcastic there. I'm so sick of talking about this.
This is probably the second to last time you left us do it.
I will say this. At least... I still don't know even where the NFL stands, dude.
They want to give him the longer ban.
Goodell said that they might want to give him a year now.
They want to give him a longer ban.
They want to give him the year ban.
But the Players Association.
Well, what is the point of doing that? Just ban him from the league. Just ban the guy from the league. What is a year suspension gonna do? I understand that there's certain things that they want him to go to, like counseling, some community service and stuff. I get that. If he's fighting back on that, then yeah. That's where the suspension makes sense to me. But this whole thing just hasn't looked good. I at least appreciate the NFL for now publicly having a stance because we didn't know where they stood. And, like, as far as I was concerned, I was just like, there's no way they're going to be wanting to give this 6-game ban. Because all the reports sounded like he's getting a 6-game ban from the judge and that the NFL was okay with that. That's what it made it sound like.
The NFL's trying to give him a full
And
year
that's why you saw
ban,
me last week be like, what is that going to do? How does that even make sense? This whole thing is the creepiest situation, and I do mean creepiest situation I think I've ever seen when dealing with something with a player. All right? If you don't know what's going on right now, you've been living under a rock, and that's on you. All right? Just make a decision already.
So there's gonna be an appeals court.
Yep.
Didn't they just appeal the first suspension was an appeal court, right?
Yes.
They went to a judge, and the judge gave him the stance. So they're going to a completely separate judge.
Yes. From New Jersey, I heard.
So, like, what is this other judge going to say that the first judge didn't say?
I don't know.
It's such a...
How do you feel about the NFL having to go to a third party to hand out suspensions and stuff? I'm kind of okay with it.
I think it's fine, because these are guys' livelihoods. These are jobs. Like, you don't... If my boss just said to me when I walked into work one day, you're suspended without pay for X amount of days, and there's no other agreement that comes in, then I have the right to, like, sue, right? You'd have the right to sue. So I think the NFL needs that. They need a third party to sort of manage these situations, and I don't think there's a big problem with it.
I just think I need more clarity on the severity of things. I feel like guys like Vontaze Burfict, who did some bad things on the field.
Calvin Ridley.
They even
He's out for the whole season.
yeah,
right?
whole year.
Season, yeah.
And Deshaun Watson's only going to potentially get 6 games.
Yep.
Like, you see what I'm saying? Of why I'm sick of talking about this? Of why I hate even covering this? Because it's just everybody.
It's a random thing. It's a wheel of discipline.
It's a never-ending wheel that makes everybody looks bad. We look bad right now because we can't even tell you what's going on with it. Because nobody knows. We don't know where this thing's going.
Yeah.
We didn't even know it was going to go this far, and here we are. You know? So I don't get it. Also, here's the thing that's got me all confused. How did 2 courts throw... I guess it has to do with, like, the level of guiltiness for, like, a crime compared to civil court. Because if there's enough evidence here for this judge to be like, oh, yeah, 6-game ban, is there not enough evidence to even take this guy to court? This is weird. And that just tells me that we probably
it's
need...
PR. It's all PR.
No, this is what it comes down to me is that, hey, we probably need to change our legal system a little bit here. You know? Because how was there enough evidence in civil court, but there's not enough evidence in regular court? It's a little weird, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of weird.
It's a lot of weird.
And I really just want to move past this situation. I can't wait to stop talking about this.
Well.
Anybody else?
It might be a long time before we ever get to that.
This is ask me if that's
Where do you
it
think
for
it's
me.
going at?
I don't think this appeal's ending anytime soon.
You think we see him this season?
Here's the thing. So has the 6-game suspension actually started yet? If the appeal's still going on, the 6-game suspension
Can
hasn't
he
started.
still play if the appeal's still going on?
I
don't know.
Yeah. Didn't that happen with Brady?
Yeah.
He played the whole
he could
season,
play
then he got the
can
suspension
he
the next
play week
season.
1 if the NFL's still appealing
'Cause
by
it's
the time
in
the season starts?
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's still an appeal. So does he still play? Because is he suspended? I don't know what's going on.
He could serve it after. That's what they
Here's
Brady.
I don't think he'll play week 1. There's no way the NFL will ever let him play week 1.
But that's
if
my
there's an
saying.
appeal
But that's the
going
thing,
on.
though. If it's in the middle of the appeals,
That's an indefinite suspension.
Okay, that's what's going on here.
I guess. But as of right now, it's 6 games, right? So if it's 6 games as of right now, if after 6 games, if the appeal's still going on, he can come back.
Okay.
That's what I think is happening. Because the 6 games has already been established. So he has to be suspended 6 games for now. But I think if the appeal goes through, it's for longer.
Yeah.
than
See,
that.
so that's what was messing me up because the NFL said suspended indefinitely, within the 6 games. So I think what you said just makes a lot of sense to me, but I don't know how this is gonna go down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We've talked about this for the last 5 weeks.
It just
so
won't end.
It won't end.
This is my least favorite topic of all time.
Let's give you a topic you might like.
Hit me with it.
Anthony Barr signing. Residential Cowboys fan.
Did we not talk about this last week?
We did not.
I love it. 4-time Pro Bowler. Why not?
He's a little older.
That's all right.
He's not as fast as he used to be.
Didn't have to pay him as much
he's
money as
not-
we needed to.
He's not that great
1 year
in pass
deal.
coverage.
You know,
Why not?
30 years old.
I see no risk.
He's not that great in pass coverage.
That's all right.
You're pretty much just using him to be a run-stuffing linebacker.
And I'm fine with that.
And
He can
Yeah,
tackle in the
yeah.
open field. That's all right.
well, the Cowboys are on 4-3, no? Or 3-4.
He's not a great pass rusher, and he's not a good coverage guy.
I think it's 4-3, pretty sure.
Now,
so
Barr
he'll work in that system.
is, that's perfect for him. And residential Ravens fan.
Yep.
Justin Tucker extension.
Dude,
I'm happy about it.
Kickers are getting so much money right now.
Con-
bro.
yeah, me and Matt had a discussion about this off air yesterday about how kickers are getting paid a lot of money.
Dude.
Which I'm like, here's the thing:
Can I say something real
kickers
quick?
are arguably probably a top 5 most important position on a football field.
Oh, I think you're giving them a little too much there. But
They
I will say
decide
this.
games, man.
They can decide
And
games.
they decided every
A
single
bad
game of this
kicker-
last playoff season.
A bad kicker and a good kicker is the difference between a 6-win team sometimes and a 10-11 win team.
It's the difference between a championship
Let me ask you a
sometimes.
question. Would you rather have an elite defensive end or an elite kicker? And the other one's average.
elite kicker.
I would think an average kicker and elite defensive end.
That's what I'm saying. I'm taking the elite defensive end. Would you take an elite
Let me
wide
say-
receiver and an average kicker or vice versa? Taking the elite wide receiver. It's a passing league.
Could be.
Okay?
But if you have an average receiver, I think the elite kicker gives your offense more points.
But compared to an elite wide
But here's
receiver?
the thing, what decides games?
As long as
Points?
the average kicker still hits
Or yards.
when he needs to.
Well, listen, I'm just saying, would you rather have an elite offensive line?
All right,
or
yeah,
an elite-
I'm taking the offensive line, yeah.
Thank you. Would you rather have an elite corner or an elite kicker?
Corner, yeah.
Elite safety or elite kicker?
Kicker. Safety's not as important as corner.
I'm probably leaning towards kicker because we saw what happened with Jamal Adams. So, yeah, I'm probably leaning towards kicker for that one. An elite linebacker or an elite kicker? Thank you.
I understand.
You'd much rather have the average kicker and elite at other positions. So to
but
say,
if you have an elite kicker,
hey, it's a big game changer, but it's not a top 5 position.
But think about it. You're only paying him $4 million. That's like what?
No, for
That's
sure.
like not
Tucker's
even
getting 6, I
2%.
thought.
That's not even 2% of your
Dude,
salary.
Tucker's getting
cap.
6
Can we
mil,
just
right?
please talk about how like me and Ed were talking? I was like, oh yeah, I remember when like kickers were making like $900K, and now they're making $24 million contracts.
No, but like yeah, the top.
He's the greatest of all time, though.
The top 10 kickers are all getting paid more than like $2 million or $3 million or something.
Yeah,
like that.
dude, I
Tucker's
had
the
no
greatest
clue.
of all time, so you got to give him the bag at some point.
I guess, dude, but do you give him the bag when he's like, isn't he like 40?
32.
Oh, he's young, man.
32.
Dude, you know who I'm confusing him with?
Vinatieri.
Yes.
Oh, no, that's a
Tucker's
that's a
only-
45-year-old.
He's probably gonna get another 20 mil and just kick into his 40s.
Well, Tucker's probably gonna still be around for another like
Vinatieri's
13 years,
49.
12, 13 years.
Vinatieri's 49, but
Yeah, I
he's,
don't know
he's
where
still
I
in the
got that.
league.
No, he
He's
retired like 2
finally
years ago.
retired, yeah.
he retired
No,
like
he's
2 or 3 years
retired.
ago.
But here's my thing, dude. I mean, how long do you think? I think it's safe to say that Tucker's probably
Tucker's
the
going to
greatest
have
kicker
another
of all time,
contract
right?
after this one. Yeah.
Here's the thing.
He's the
I
longest
think
field goal of all
Vinatieri-
time, most accurate of
I
all
think
time.
Vinatieri gets overblown because he hit those 2 big game-winning
Soup winning.
Yeah, but he was put in that position. If you put Tucker in that position, he's hitting those kicks too.
Okay, fair. Look at Ant defending them Ravens.
Defending
Even
them
the
Ravens.
kicker all the way. Ant will
Jay
tell
Tuck's
you,
my boy, bro. He's the opposite.
Ant will tell you if there's a punter on the Ravens, he's the greatest punter of all time.
Yo, Sam Coke, come on. Sam Coke might be.
The fact
I'm not
that-
dying. I'm
Connor,
not-
can you name the
I'm not
Miami
lying.
Dolphins punter?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Give me 1 sec. I'll
Yeah,
fit.
he doesn't know.
No, you
It's
don't
Thomas
know.
Morstead.
Off the top of your head, yeah.
It's Thomas
Now
Morstead.
it's Jordan Stout, the Ravens punter.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I know he's a lefty, but I couldn't tell you the Cowboys punter. Call
He's
me
not-
an awful fan,
He's not a good fan.
dude.
I know him too. Hold on. Give me
Why
1
does
sec.
he-
Greg DeLeg, right?
No, that's no. Is it Brian? It's not Brian Anger, is it?
I thought Greg DeLeg was the punter.
No. It's Did you say Brian Anger?
Yeah.
It's Brian Anger.
Haha.
Why does he know the punter?
That's Connor Cupin for you. Come on.
I think they had Zerline as
The kicker.
as their kicker.
This year,
Yeah,
last year
something like
they're having like a kickoff.
kickoff.
A kickoff.
There's like
is that not fantastic?
yeah.
All right,
There's like a
I'm going to ask you guys a question now.
Hit me
C.
with it.
Who's winning the quarterback battle between Baker Mayfield and Sam
Baker.
Darnold?
Baker.
Right
Baker
now?
all day.
Baker.
They brought in Baker.
They're trying to
Every
trade Sam.
report I've heard is that Baker it's his job to lose.
They're trying to trade
But I've
Darnold.
heard Baker's not having great practices.
I heard it's been okay. Like it hasn't been
Well,
phenomenal.
What I've heard
but-
is that in training camp right now, Sam Darnold's having a better camp than Baker Mayfield right now.
yeah, we'll see.
Maybe Baker's still suffering from that shoulder injury. You don't know.
I'm sure he's got a confidence issue too.
Maybe that's also a good.
He gave the Browns everything and it wasn't good enough. Like, come on. It's rough, dude.
To start the season, do you think Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield's gonna be a starting quarterback?
Baker all day. not
Baker,
even
yeah.
close.
They want to get rid of Darnold. They're trying to get
I
rid
don't
of
think Sam Darnold will see the Panthers field outside of preseason. That's how, unless Baker goes down with an injury.
Yeah. that's
Like,
fine.
I don't think I'm telling you right now. Baker's not.
The
I don't think
number-
Baker's gonna get
the
benched. is what
number
I'm saying.
1 and 3 overall picks from the draft
Unbelievable.
on the same team.
And then Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson went after them.
And Josh Rosen. They gotta get Josh Rosen on the Panthers team now. Have all 3 of them just go for it.
Rosen's in Atlanta now still?
Where is he at right now?
Cleveland.
Oh,
They signed him to
him or Jacoby Brissett.
I
Brissett.
think Brissett's gonna start, but I think Rosen's gonna end up taking over if Watson.
I
doesn't
hope
come
Rosen
back.
goes off and like breaks
Dude, he
out.
threw like 3
I
picks and 4
want
passes.
Rosen. I want Rosen to just be Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah.
I want him to be.
I want like even if the suspension for Deshaun is 6 games, they still bench him anyway.
I want
for
him to
Rosen.
be like you guys know what like Fitzpatrick is for like the first like 4 games.
Yeah.
I
that.
want him to be that all
Yeah.
season.
Yeah. So he just gets a huge contract.
Yes, and Cleveland's debating Rosen
Just Rosen or Deshaun.
or
Watson.
Deshaun. Yes, I hope that's what happens.
All right, well, we're hitting into our last 20 minutes here on Ant Mazz in the Midday. And we got a few segments we got to hit up.
Let's hit the baseball real quick, and then we'll give our last thing to
Yeah.
your segment.
Yep.
Baseball news.
Matt
Hit it with
Carpenter breaking
Broken
his
foot.
And what does this do for
And
you?
I got 2 minutes for you. Go ahead. Give us your little Yankee spiel.
I love the MARP. Here, I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant right now because last night might have been one of the most pathetic displays.
Pathetic
Displays I've ever seen.
You guys ever seen a 1-2 inning?
From a baseball team. All right, let's go. Garrett Cole versus Luis Castillo in Seattle. All right, fine. Luis Castillo's a really good pitcher. He shut down the Yankees twice already this year. I don't blame the Yankees for not hitting him because he's a great pitcher. He goes 8 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks. He's fine. He's remarkable. Cole gives you 7 innings on the mound of great shutout ball. You can't even scratch across a run in the 9th. Then, in the 10th inning, you make it out on the bases. Oh, man, that's terrible. All right, we lose.
1-2
The
inning.
bullpen shuts him down in the 10th. All right, this is our chance. Let's go get a run. Then IKF, who I despise, makes another out on the bases. Wow, that is just embarrassing.
Hey.
You know what? I think we might just have to call another again. Please just give up a run, bullpens, just so I can put me out of my misery. Oh, man, the bullpen, Loaiza comes in, does another great job. Then what happens again? Miguel Andujar on second base. He is caught off second on a ground ball to second. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
First, the double steal doesn't go by. Then IKF. Then Andujar. You make 3 outs in the bases in the extra innings.
So here's my question to you. In other news, Didi and Jackie
Yeah, Didi
Bradley
gets
Jr.
cut. Is Didi coming back?
They're both cut. Are you bringing back Didi?
No.
Are you even thinking about Jackie Bradley Jr.?
Jackie Bradley Jr.
Didi not playing is better than IKF right now.
So you would bring back Didi?
I want Didi, man.
Would you bring him back?
Yes.
So you think they should bring back Didi?
If give Didi a vet minimum contract, I'm taking him, bro.
You taking Jackie Bradley Jr. too?
No.
He's still got some defense left in him.
We just traded for Harrison Bader. We're not gonna sign Jackie Bradley Jr.
Well, listen, the way you're talking right now is that you're ready to just ship everybody who's not Aaron Judge out the window.
The Mets have a better record right now.
Well, yeah, because we just absolutely collapsed. We've lost 6
You
out of
really
our
wanna
last
talk about-
7. 6 out of our last 7.
Listen,
They got swept in St. Louis. You
Harrison,
couldn't even score a run against Jordan Montgomery, who you've seen the entire season pitch for your team. You know what he throws. And you can't even score a run off of him.
he's punching the desk right now for anyone that can't
This is
see.
Frankie Montes, who we give up some good prospects for. I don't blame him because it's his first start, but he gets blown up by St.
You know what
Louis.
the worst part is? I'm a big Yankees fan, dude.
Got no
but
idea.
I think I might be a bigger fan of the Yankees just
Losing.
losing because I get this out.
You're a Yankees fan.
Am
more
I the
importantly,
schmuck of
you're
the
an
week?
Ant fan.
Mazz, am I the schmuck of the week for staying up till almost 2 in the morning to watch this team last night?
I saw that the game was still going on. I was going to bed. I'm like, wow. This thing
Am
is
I the
still
schmuck of the
going-
week for that? For wasting my time? I even say, like, usually around this time period and, like, in the season, I usually take a break from, like, watching baseball. You know, I'm a little burnt out. Take a 2-week break, come back in, like, September. I still haven't done it. I don't know why.
Listen,
Why do I keep watching this team every day for these last 2 weeks?
at least your starting pitcher didn't break his wrist
Fellas.
because of a biking accident.
Did he just
Yeah,
say schmuck
yeah.
of the week?
What?
You said schmuck of the week, Andy.
I said schmuck of the week.
You're not the schmuck of the week because this was the best team in baseball, and why wouldn't you stay up just to see if they can get it done? Because they've been magic all year. But
All
you
right.
know who is
The schmuck of the week?
schmuck
Who's
of the
the schmuck of
week?
the week?
Thanks for taking that away from me. Thanks a lot for that one. You want to just read this one? You want to take over the segment?
No. I want you to say.
Okay. Our schmuck of the week goes out to Malmo's, which is pretty sure a Swiss soccer club. Okay, Malmo's Mohamed Bouya Touré skipped his own wedding to finalize his transfer. The man's own wedding, his brother was the stand-in at the altar for him. I have so many questions.
Yeah,
Sweet home
right.
Alabama.
I have so many questions.
You may
did
kiss
his brother
the bride,
kiss the bride?
and then
Yeah, we don't gotta get to that second part, but yeah, I'm with you on that one too. Okay, I'm very, dude. You're gonna hear about that for the rest of your life, man. Come on, dude. Top 3 things in life when you think of life events for most people. Most people. Okay? We're talking birth of the first child. We're talking high school graduation. Buying your first... Oh, okay. Buying your first home. Okay?
So wedding, home, and child.
And wedding. I didn't say wedding, but weddings... Come on, dude. You missed the top 3 event. I wish them nothing but a happy marriage. But anytime you mess up, dude, you know she's going to hit you with the... you weren't even at
every wedding anniversary is going to be like, so you were at training camp this day.
So here's my
question.
question.
You were grinding at the football
field. It really couldn't wait one more day? Like, come on, bro. I don't understand. I mean, the guy's the schmuck of the week for this. I mean,
schmuck of the year, schmuck of the month.
I appreciate the dedication, but dude, you just set yourself up to just get chokeslammed every time you get into an argument with this lady.
She has the ultimate...
And we know it's coming. Listen, every healthy relationship has its arguments, but if you ever really mess up, how do you even come back to that?
She has the ultimate, like, discussion ender.
Exactly my point. Like, no matter how right you are in that argument, she can just turn around.
At least I was at the wedding.
And be like,
at least I was at our wedding.
I was at our wedding. Boom. Schmuck of the week going right there to my man. I appreciate the dedication to his soccer club. However,
come on now,
dude, you gotta be at the Mohamed Bouya Touré.
All right, real quick.
You gotta be at the wedding, bro.
I'm gonna give out dog of the week this week.
Hit it with it.
New York Mets.
Whoa.
Man, Connor, your prediction is not looking good for the Atlanta Braves.
At the end of the season,
are they?
They're now almost
7 games.
7 games. At the beginning of this week, I think the Braves are only back by what, a game and a half?
Yes. They're coming. It's by the end of the season.
They absolutely demolished the Braves at Citi Field, taking 3 out of 4, sweeping a doubleheader.
4 out of 5, actually, sir. Sorry.
4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the Mets might have to run New York now, man.
That's how you're feeling.
With the way the Yankees looked last night.
Well, that's what happens when you get.
Put me out of my misery. But the Mets, man, they are looking absolutely unhittable. DeGrom, bro. DeGrom, he put up 5 2/3 almost hitless. He's back to where he was, and he hasn't even pitched 3 games yet.
The best pitcher in baseball.
Scherzer's still good. Dude,
the best pitcher in baseball.
Dude, Bassett went 8 innings. Carrasco went 6 2/3 last night. The Mets are championship contenders. And the Padres, who we were talking about maybe winning the NL this year, they've looked terrible.
Did I not tell you?
They've scored like 3 runs in the last 4 games.
Did I not tell you not to put any stock in them this year? Give them next year. Give it to next year, and then we can judge them.
Yeah.
Dude,
the Mets are looking like the team, man.
Yeah, there's no way the Padres are going to be the team, dude.
Yeah, and
it's just not happening.
It's definitely still between the Mets and Dodgers in my eyes. Dodgers are still looking really good, but I think the Mets earned Dog of the Week this week because they've just been dominating the teams that they played, and they are looking like the team in New York right now.
Jordan Montgomery,
so
Dog of the Week.
Would you say? I was gonna say, I would have given it to Montgomery or DeGrom, honestly.
Jordan Montgomery, Dog of the Week.
I'm giving it to the Mets team in general, just for how they played this.
I'm just saying, Montgomery should have got a little props there. I mean, y'all said you're gone, and then he just comes back and does his thing.
Yeah, well,
but hey, listen,
that's the Yankees for us. We don't know how to make deals at deadline sometimes.
Okay, well, anyway, speaking of
deals at the deadline, I'm stealing it from you,
Connor.
But I'm gonna give you right back.
Can you just put him in timeout?
No, I'm giving it back.
Is this Aunt Mazz and Connor in the midday, or is this
we
Aunt
just
Mazz?
might have to? But dude, just let me finish the sentence. Every time I throw it up for myself to dunk it down, he just jumps in front of me, jams it down, looks back, and goes, "Oh, here's the ball back, buddy. I don't want it now. I don't want it. Go ahead, Connor.
Mr. Jackie,
no, go ahead. No, you already took it, so go.
Oh, just real?
Yeah, go ahead.
Top 10 blockbuster trades of all time.
So we have a new segment here at Aunt Mazz in the Midday, the top 10s. Last week, when we did the honorary for Bill Russell, we did the top 10 centers all time. We like that idea. So every week, we're going to come at you with a top 10 list. Each of us are going to make a list, and each week it's going to be a different topic. We're going to go over it and just compare notes and see whose top 10 list was the best.
So here's my thing. We've seen
top 10 blockbuster trades.
We saw the Soto trade. We saw the Gobert trade. There's big moves happening all over the place with a lot of pieces moving. So for these blockbuster trades, we're just going to round table this real quick. Ant, this was your idea. Who's your first 10 spot?
So at number 10, this is back all the way in the 1990s. Brett Favre traded to the Packers for the 17th overall pick in the 1992 NFL Draft. Favre would go on to win a big game in Green Bay and finish as the all-time leading passer in NFL history. What a trade that was for the Packers. Pretty much robbed the Falcons blind who traded him. And the Falcons, I remember, I think who the coach was then, was it Dan Reeves? I think it was. He hated Favre, didn't want him there. traded him for a first-round pick, and then he ended up becoming probably one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. Brett Favre, number 10. Number 9.
Hold on. Connor, what's your number 10?
Okay.
My number 10 was the Ricky Williams deal.
Okay.
Not because of what it did as far as a championship, but how much was given up for him.
So that's how I kind of was bouncing back and forth. For me, it kind of like, what was the impact and how much was given up in the deal?
I was just
Like
saying,
Mike
that's
Ditka
fair.
gave up every single other draft pick in the entire draft.
I like the pick.
Just to get his hands on Ricky Williams, who ends up going off in Miami anyway.
I mean, listen, Ricky. Would
I
you guys have made that move?
No.
I think that trade's in my honorable mentions right now.
Yeah, I liked it. I kind of like that. That actually, but mine's Melo to New York. Just the amount of players that swapped teams in that deal. Melo was the face of the franchise for a while. I mean, I feel like for me that was like the first time I ever really seen like that many people just, hey,
Yep.
this is blockbuster.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I got Melo to New York there.
All right, number 9. Wayne Gretzky to the LA Kings.
Oh, that is too low.
Yeah, what do you call
for Jimmy Carson, Martin Gillinas, and first-round picks in 89, 91, 93. Gretzky, the best player all time, maybe one of the best athletes in general ever, would help the Kings win the Stanley Cup in 1993. One of the best trades.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That's top 3 on my list. That's literally my 3rd spot. Connor.
Manny Ramirez trade to the Dodgers. Again, not because it brought them a championship. He had won 2 of those World Series titles with Boston. You know, he was their face of their franchise and everything. And then got into a fight with Kevin Youkilis and some other things, and then he found his way in L.A.
Big trade.
And he still went off in L.A. He was batting
I saw him in
.400,
LA.
but they ultimately didn't get the job done because they'd lose to the Phillies.
So I was actually thinking kind of like the same thing, just in terms of like face of the franchise. But this time I was thinking face of baseball. I got Griffey to the Reds in my 9 spot.
He didn't do much with the Reds, but like
Just because
Yeah,
of
he
like
started
having
now. Okay.
the nerve to go away from a Ken Griffey Jr. I mean, like sometimes you got to do it, but like I think especially for what was swapped back and forth, that had to be blockbuster at the time.
all right, number 8 for me. Kobe Bryant to the Lakers for Vlade Divac in the 96 draft.
I absolutely love it. I don't know if it's necessary. I think
wasn't
it's
blockbuster at
I
the
think
time.
it's blockbuster because it's
Kobe Bryant.
No. It's blockbuster because you're giving up an established all-star center in Vlade Divac for a 17-year-old. That's
And he
blockbuster.
ended up becoming
all
a
day.
5-time champion.
Ended up being the second greatest player in my eyes. Top 3 for most people. Anything below that is just disrespectful. We don't even want to hear the opinion on
Well,
it.
also I put Kobe at 8 because 8.
Yeah, that's funny. Anyway, Connor.
I'm giving you an NHL trade.
Okay. We already got one.
Patrick Roy to the Avalanche because he is one of the greatest goaltenders of all time. And he was in Montreal beforehand, however, and he got traded really quick, and they won a bunch of Stanley Cups in Colorado afterwards.
Okay. I actually have Garnett to Boston.
Okay.
You know, Garnett, former MVP at the time, and if he doesn't go to Boston, they don't win that sole championship. And, you know, I mean, once again, it's kind of like with Griffey where he wasn't the face of the league, but this is the face of your franchise, and moving on from that, definitely a big trade. That had to be definitely blockbuster at the time.
All right, number 7 for me. A-Rod to the Yankees for Alfonso Soriano and Joaquin Arias. A-Rod was probably the best baseball player at the time. He was linked to the Red Sox, who were the Yankees' greatest rival. The Red Sox package was Manny Ramirez, Nomar Garciaparra, and John Lester for him, which was a much better trade package. Red Sox would go on to win 3 more or
And
4
Connor, why
championships
wasn't
since then.
that trade allowed to happen?
Because the Players Association vetoed it.
Unbelievable.
Continue.
I don't understand why they did it, but A-Rod went to the Yankees, ended up winning a World Series in 09 with them. Arguably one of the greatest players ever play the game.
So
I have the same answer, actually.
I have A-Rod 1 above, and that's just because what he was able to do for the Yankees. My spot there is actually Wilt to the Lakers.
Okay.
You know, I just think that if Wilt would have won more than what he did, I think Wilt literally only won 1 with the
Yeah.
Lakers. You know,
He only has 1 championship.
Yeah, that's insane. If Wilt would have won more, definitely would have been higher, but definitely would have been. I mean, that's the best player in the game at
That's
the time.
him and Jerry West's only title.
Yeah,
I have that A-Rod spot just because reigning MVP gets traded. Like, that doesn't usually
Yeah,
happen.
I actually have it. That's my next spot up. So that's
So
you know,
that's your
little
7,
spoiler.
Connor.
And he had to do is switch positions to play third base. But yeah, that's also my 7. Just the commitment to it and just the star caliber player involved.
I had the
great.
exact same reasoning, but just 1 spot higher. Go ahead.
So number 6 for me, Celtics get Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish for the number 1 overall pick in the 1980 draft.
That's a good one.
Dude, they made a dynasty out of that. Those
For
two.
sure.
That was 2 of their top 3 with Bird. So Celtics kind of made a dynasty with that trade.
Love it. Go ahead.
That's where I have the Garnett trade there. 7-for-1 NBA trade package. Crazy deal. They end up winning a chip
I think
with
at
him,
the
so it
time
works.
it was the most people ever traded for one guy.
The most lopsided trade in NBA history, 100%. 7 players for 1 player.
5 players and 2 picks.
5
right?
players, 2 picks, cash. And then they get Garnett back a decade later, which is a little icing on the cake to it.
I mean, you gotta love it. I have A-Rod to the Yankees there. Next one up.
Number 5 for me. Colts trade Marshall Faulk to the Rams for a 2nd and 5th round pick in the 1999 draft. Was the missing piece to the greatest show on turf, man. Marshall Faulk probably had the greatest 2-year stretch from a running back probably ever. Dude was a monster, and he elevated the Rams to win a big soup. And then they actually got to another one, but they didn't finish the deal against the Patriots. But those 3 years of the greatest show on turf might be some of the greatest offense you've ever seen, and that was because of Marshall Faulk.
Connor?
Another NHL trade here. Eric Lindros got traded to the Flyers. Now, this is interesting because he is one guy. He hadn't played in a single game yet, a rookie. He gets traded for multiple first-round picks, 5 players, and $15 million just because he was the number 1 overall pick. Elway's situation where he didn't want to play for the team that drafted him, so they just kind of shipped him off, and they got this huge haul for him, and the other team wins the championship.
Okay. I actually have Herschel Walker out of Dallas.
Oh, that's too low for me.
Yeah, I got Herschel Walker. I was just looking at the rest of them, and for the sole fact of, I think just the rest of the names that are on here, I just think they bring more star power for me. That's why it's as low as it is. But without this trade, Dallas doesn't get their dynasty. This is a direct link of this. They end up with Emmitt Smith, and without that, without the pieces that came with it, I feel like I know Dallas wouldn't be where they are in terms of historical greatness. So, yeah, Herschel Walker, I believe, that was to the Vikings, right?
Yep.
To the Vikings, and getting the haul back, that includes Emmitt Smith.
All right, number 4 for me. Chicago Bulls acquire Scottie Pippen from the Supersonics for the 8th pick in the 87 draft.
Okay.
That's it, man. That was what created the Bulls dynasty with MJ. He couldn't win. Mike couldn't win before Scottie. Once he got Scottie, it was a whole nother level.
I am absolutely loving how clearly I'm somewhere in the middle. Connor's going blockbuster just purely off of the size of the trades and what the significance at the time was. I was also thinking
going
that
impact.
You're definitely going impact, and I have a mixture of both in between. Because I mean, to me, that's all. They both include blockbuster. So Connor, who do you got there?
That's where I have the Favre trade, actually, because Atlanta has no idea what they have on their team, and they give up one of the greatest QBs of all time for a first-round pick, and he wins one soup, goes to a couple more, and is Green Bay's face of the franchise for years while Atlanta misses out on everything that could have been theirs.
Which brings me to the Miami Heat picking up the Diesel.
I was thinking about the Diesel.
Dude, come on. That trade, when it happened, dude, it was like, wow. We knew Kobe and Shaq were fighting, but we just gave up the Diesel.
Yeah.
The best player in the NBA to Miami.
And then they take it to the promised land.
And they took it to the promised land, and in exchange, they get Lamar Odom and Pau Gasol, which are
That's a
important
pretty good deal,
pieces.
man. That's a pretty good deal.
I mean, listen,
even as it comes.
I don't think it's definitely not better. If Shaq would have actually cared and took care of himself, it's definitely would have been more lopsided.
Oh,
But-
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because, dude, at the time, I was mad, all right? I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Who are these guys?
How old were you?
So, what's
At
up?
that time, how old were you at that time?
like 10,
That was 2006.
6, 5.
I was
9,
like,
8?
Also,
2006,
Kobe
I was
and
like 9.
Shaq's relationship was irreparable at that time, too.
Listen, they were my favorite players of all time. I couldn't believe that we were just giving up and getting Lamar Odom, and just the fact that they were giving up Shaq. Oh, man, it was awful. But here they are, and they ended up with 2 championships after it. Miami ends up with 1 with Shaq, so congratulations. At the time, that's probably the biggest deal that I was ever alive for.
All right.
Number 3.
Number 3. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Walt Wesley to
That's
the Lakers.
my same one for number 3.
For
right
Elmore
now.
Smith, Brian Winters,
We all have
Junior
it?
Bridgman, and Dave Myers.
I have that at number 2.
Oh,
Dude, Kareem, man, going to the Lakers. He was the best player at the time.
and
by
they win
far.
how many
for sure.
championships after he gets traded there?
5.
Yeah.
Literally.
So that's why it's number 2 for me.
Yeah, it's number 3 for me.
Number 3 for me. I have a couple. I have like a couple that go jump that one. What's your 3?
My 3rd was Gretzky with the Kings.
See, that's my 2. So
I mean, dude, this is the equivalent of
The
Michael
great one,
Jordan
yeah.
getting. This is the
Jordan
great
getting
one.
traded. Yeah.
That's literally the equivalent of Jordan getting traded. You know, like, come on. They gave up the great one to have the nerve to do that. Definitely got to be up there. As I said, my number 2 is Jabbar to the Lakers. Number 2, Ant?
Herschel Walker trade
Love
to the
it.
Vikings. That's my number 2.
Connor?
Number 2, that's where I have the Gretzky trade because he learned he would be traded for cash because the owner needed to cover his other failing businesses.
For Gretzky?
Yes.
That's another time that happened because my number 1,
It's probably everyone's number 1.
is it the Babe?
The Babe.
It's the Babe to New York for me.
I see what
And
you mean.
Don't get me wrong. It's just because, I mean, the Babe was the face of baseball. I don't think he's the GOAT just because there
It's
was...
changed the landscape
had
of
Herschel
baseball.
Walker
the
trade.
Yankees, The Yankees would not be where they are right now, 27 World Championships, if they did not acquire
I had the
Babe Ruth.
Herschel Walker
And-
trade down there. I just forgot about the Babe trade. Just slipped my mind. So obviously, yes.
That's fine.
That'd be
but-
the 1B for me. But the Walker trade for me, just because there's an entire decade of the NFL is different if that doesn't happen. The entire
gonna be honest
Cowboys
with you.
dynasty is not where it
I'm
should
with
be.
you there, but I got to give it to the Babe because as
No,
Ant
yeah.
just said...
Yeah, you're right.
I don't,
changed
do
the
the
landscape
I
of
don't think the
baseball.
Yankees become the Yankees without that.
And the Boston Red Sox go on an 86-year drought afterwards.
So-
Curse the Bambino.
Dude,
They
yeah.
traded him for $100K, which is like $1.2 million nowadays.
Now, we're coming up here on 20 seconds before we have to get going. And I agree with everything that you say. I just have 2 questions. Do you think the Bam's the greatest player of all time?
Babe Ruth in like baseball?
Yeah.
I don't think he's the greatest player of all time.
I think solely because of there was no integration there, so I don't think it is.
I think the greatest, like, we're talking, baseball is such a weird sport to quantify that. If
Yeah.
we're talking the greatest player, like skill-wise, I say Ken Griffey Jr.
Fair. Hey, we're here at 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair. About to leave here at Mazz in the midday. Anthony Cofone, Brandon Morazzo, Connor Cupid. My last question is, where does the Soto trade rank? Does it crack your top 10?
Yes.
No.
We'll see in time. As
Yeah,
right
we'll
now,
see
I
in
think
time.
it could.
We'll
you
see
need
in
to
time.
you need to give trades time to sort of make their impact.
Has the potential for sure.
If the
I think
Padres
it-
win a World Series next 3 years, I think it probably goes somewhere in like the 5 to 4 range.
I think it... 5
also-
to 4? That's
well, here's
rough,
the thing.
dude. I think it's below my
Here's the
A-Rod
thing:
because he
is
wasn't
Soto
MVP.
is Soto getting extended?
That's
also
the
something,
question,
too.
but it also has to be with this. Is that he wasn't the MVP? It's got to at least be under A-Rod.
Kawhi
for
trade
me.
is also another situation like that.
Dude, I was thinking the Kawhi trade, and that
That's also-
just missed it.
Yeah.
You know, the Kawhi trade's probably going to take my 10 spot over the Melo spot because it
Won
yeah,
a chip.
It won a chip.
And it was the ballsiest thing. You get rid of DeRozan, who's the face. You fire all.
Dude,
you know,
I forgot
Dwayne-
all about that one, Connor. You're absolutely right. That is going into my 10 slot right there. That completes our segment for the day. You guys are listening to 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair. We are Ant and Mazz in the midday. 2 claps and a Ric Flair.
Woo!
Have a good week.
We'll be back
Bye.
next Wednesday with another episode. See you later, everybody.